All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Straight Talk. We are live and not on time, but at least we're live. But look, I wanted to apologize for last week. I don't know what the hell went on, but I had a hard time with the sound, and but we're back and let's see what happens. And tonight is somewhat a repeat, but more trimmed down because I really wanted to impact on the importance of our people, not only in America but around the world. And there is an awakening happening. There's no if, there's no and, there's no but. There's a lot of pride that is going on, that has been taking place within the hearts, minds, and souls of black people. We just need to wake up, and that's all that is. Wake up, observe the truth on both sides, and live that. Speak it to power. Your ancestors are waiting on you to be like them. There's no ifs, there's no ands, there's no buts, there's nothing but truth, righteousness, justice, understanding, knowledge, and wisdom. And when you have that working in your favor, how can you lose? How can you lose? Please explain it. And above all of that, there is unity, political, economic, spiritual, and physical. You can't fight with one finger. You have to use all of your fingers, ball them up, and fight. One finger can be broken, two fingers can be broken, three fingers can be broken. But when you ball them up in a fist, they're very hard to fight, hard to do. I really apologize for that. These kids on these motorbikes, they just vroom, vroom, vroom down the street. Like they don't really give a fuck about somebody else's peace and quiet. But anyway, that's just the youth of today. And I might be getting old or something. And I don't know. I just can't tolerate that to whatever extent that may be. But like I was saying, a fist cannot be broken. A fist cannot be broken. One finger can't be broken. Two fingers can't be broken. Perhaps even four fingers broken if they're not unified. But you got to unify, my people. That's the only way to do this. It's the only way. So tonight, I really wanted to focus in on what we've always been talking about, and it's that every day, every week, every month, every year, for decades on end, for all of eternity, that we must teach our children the truth. We cannot allow them to go to a school where they're going to be programmed the way in which they want it to go, and not the way in which it should be going, black first. There is a economic, political, and educational gap that has been filled with bullshit about white supremacy, wannabe white superiority, making us feel as if we're not qualified, we're not uh, what's the word I'm looking for? We're not sufficient enough, you know. And the ones who are not sufficient enough are these so-called white people who are not white. They're not Caucasian. They're not Aryan. They're not Anglo-Saxon. They're not European. They are just bullshit artists, con artists. They are bleached out black people who come from Dravidian albino. And so with that being said, when you know them, hold up a mirror to their faces and announce to them who they are. And they're back the fuck up. They were literally back the fuck up. Because now you know. And in one of these videos, you're going to hear white people telling you who you are. And in so telling you who you are, they would definitely not be as, hold on, let me see, as forthright in their nonsense and their hypocrisy and their downright lies and deceitful practices and ways like the Wizard of Oz to blowing smoke up your ass and making you think that they are about everything and you are about nothing. That's not true. So hold on, I made a mistake and right. I don't know uh, why this did not come out correctly. I don't think I can go back and change the name. It went straight. It should be straight. It should be said straight. But anyway, um, and so tonight we're going to be covering quite a few videos about the importance of us and the society in which we live, America, and the economic impact of that and political impact of that, national, international. You black man, you black woman, you are the very foundation of every civilization on the planet. Without you, we could not be what we are now. I mean, it's hell on wheels. White folks done turned the world upside down. We're living in the matrix of white folks, crazy asses. But that's about it. They have no value. They have no shame. They have no glory. They have nothing. No history to speak of. It is very, very, very frightening and disheartening to see that the world has yet to waken up. They can believe in these bullshit drones and aliens and spaceships, of which all white people are seeing. And I'm going to show a map of that. Well, I live right here in the Dominican Republic. I have yet to see a goddamn orb in the sky. The only white people are seeing orbs, are seeing these little spaceships and spacecraft, and maybe even an alien. They were talking about a glimmer man at one point. But anyway, I'm going to leave that bullshit alone. That's bullshit to me until I see it. Seeing is believing, all right? So, with that being said, I'm going to go straight to the first video and bring up the share screen. And yeah, I'll be right back and we'll get it started. Hold on.
Called Define American, and he and the host not too long ago, Representative Gene Wu from Houston, Texas, sat down on a podcast called Define American, and he and the host had a conversation in regards to the relationship between Black Americans and the Asian community. Check it out.
I always tell people that the day the Latino, African American, Asian, and other communities realize that they share the same oppressor is the day we start winning. But the problem is our communities are divided. For Asian Americans and for African Americans, we probably have one of the worst relationships between any community.
Well, I bet you a lot of Asian Americans too don't, in my experience, don't even realize that if it wasn't for the civil rights movement, there would not be 22 million Asian Americans in this country.
Thank you. What I have been trying to teach the Asian community is like, friends, do you understand that your success, your prosperity, your civil rights that you enjoy right now was paid for with Black blood?
So as you saw and heard there, they basically said that if it were not for Black Americans, 22 million Asians would not be benefiting from what they benefit from now. And he also said, the representative, that his people do not understand that. And so he goes about trying to educate them. And at the end, they both basically agreed that it was due to Black blood that their people benefit. Now, I want to say this. I had a conversation with an older Asian gentleman. He was Korean, to be exact. And he said the same thing. He says, our people are very racist toward Black people. And he says, I don't understand why. Because if it were not for your people, we would not have the things that we have. You all paved the way. And for whatever reason, Asians, they like to look down on Black Americans. Well, that's partially due to them taking their talking points from white supremacy. See, most people that come from outside of America, they are taught that Black Americans are the problem, right? We're the boogeyman, we're lazy, we're this, we're that, but we're really none of that. But those are the negative stereotypes that are allowed to permeate the airwaves and the radio stations and everywhere you can think of. But like they said, it was due to the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors that not just the Asian community, but everybody else benefits the way they do. Even if you think about this last election season when Biden and Harris weren't, they're still in office, but they allowed so many people to come over here and benefit in every way you can think of: money, housing, education, healthcare, while they told Black Americans no. But it was because of Black Americans that they were allowed to come over here, because Black Americans predominantly vote for the Democrat Party, and the Democrat Party always tells Black Americans no specifically. So yes, that is another example how everybody else benefits. But as he is waking his people up, we need to continue to wake our people up and say, hey, you know what? Get off of that all lives matter stuff and let's start doing for self like they do. Like he said, the Asian community, they don't like us and we've done nothing to them, right? But we need to get together with ourselves and build as we have been told so many years ago. And that way, we don't have to worry about who likes us or whatever the case is, right? And other communities, they stop benefiting off of our blood, sweat, and tears. So anyway, y'all tell me what you think of that. And for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel. And
all right, you heard it right there. I can't get any better than that. Without us. But Donna, yeah, wait. But welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you coming. And it matters, man. And we're gonna get this done. You know what? I talked to my brother Issa. He's an attorney. And I let him know about Reggie. So I gave him the number and the information that you gave me about him and the whole DeFi thing and all of that. So hopefully he can get in contact with him and make him a client of his, so he can go on forward and win his case. And that's just some serious money for my brother, you know. Not for that reason, but for the fact that you know, it's a win-win situation for everybody. And Reggie wins trillions of dollars, if not, I mean, tens of billions of dollars, not trillions of dollars. So I really appreciate you letting me know about Reggie and everything. So hopefully my brother Issa will be able to get in contact with him and make him a client. So he's going to win. He already really won, you know. They just trying to bluff him and fluff him, you know what I mean? But he really won his case. So, and I will let my brother know that. And so it's going to be like a MCI versus AT&T kind of thing. But he's going to win. It's a David and Goliath battle. But you know, the justice part is on his side. So, but thank you, brother Donald. I appreciate it. Brother Elijah, come on in.
What's up, big bro? Happy New Year to you, man.
Yeah. You too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I ain't seen you since last year.
What? I'm hearing echo.
Oh, sorry.
Now, can you hear me? Oh, okay. So that was on when I'm adding somebody. That happened. Oh, okay. So yeah. So brother Donna, happy New Year to you, and a lot of blessings, and hopefully this flare. I done racked up a lot of flares, man. You know, I ain't trying to make no million of those shares, but I got damn near 100,000. So, but it done went up like it's almost 3 cents from what I bought it at 1 cent. So, but it's still good. It's a hell of a buy still. Hell of a buy still. Make sure you check that out, brother Elias Flair, FLR, and I would recommend cracking. Oh shit! Hell is it? Hold on. I would recommend Kraken.com to open up your account for crypto, and then you can go in and get your XRP. XRP is going for about $2.50, right? Down the last time I checked it. I don't think it had gone up no further than that, but it, man, they predicting some wild ass prices. 50,000 per coin, man. 50,000 per coin. That'll make me. Oh shit! That don't even get me started. Hold on, I got a 30,000 XRP times 1,000. That's 30 million. $4,000 per coin. So you're talking 50,000. I think that's about $3 billion. I'll be a billionaire. I'll be a billionaire, brother Donald, brother Elijah. But I'll be happy with 100 million and take my fucking money and go. Yeah, I can do a lot, or we can do a lot with that. But anyway, like the first video was saying, the Asian community wouldn't have what the fuck they got if it wasn't for the black folks and the civil rights movement that allowed them to come over and into America and make all of their money. Now I knew that, but she made a very poignant point in regards to that. So I really wanted to point that out, and hopefully, what I'm saying and what we're saying on the show, it really resonate with people. That's what I want to do, and that's what this show is all about: revealing the truth, speaking it to power, and standing on business of our ancestors. Because if we keep looking the other way, which is full of bullshit, white bullshit trying to tell you that you ain't shit, knowing that the people who are trying to down you are really feeling less than you. That's one-on-one psychology. But if we can just turn around and do a 180 and uh, and pay attention to our ancestors, which I'm going to be getting into in a minute, is dealing with Aesop and his wisdom. I mean, it's just beyond the pale as to what our ancestors have done and continue to do through us. And all we got to do is just turn around and listen and pay attention. But Elijah, you got anything to say about that?
How do I sound?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay, good. I was on a show on StreamYard on Thursday, and I barely was able to speak because I'm going through some stuff, and I believe they really fucking with my shit. So I'm gonna try to. Hopefully, if that happens, please let me know. Everything is go as far as Nasara and Jasara. I've seen rumors floating around that every black American post Trump's presidency, which will be in 3 weeks, when it's official, that is going to get $350,000 each. Now, this is a rumor, so don't put me on the carpet for saying that this is definitely going to happen, but I believe it is. And the reason why I say that it's going to happen, I think it will happen in some variation or form. I'm not saying exactly what I said will happen the way I said it, but I believe that's happening because if you notice, if you've ever analyzed how Trump moves, he likes to come in at the last minute and save the day. And with that said, the reason why I believe he's saying that is because the money that the Democratic Party used for the migrants and all that illegal shit that happened last year is going to be replaced to giving African Americans that money, so that because the U.S. government, based on that alone, can no longer say that they don't have money for reparations. The people who are here illegally and never paid a cent in taxes. I'm done.
Yeah, I agree. I heard it. I heard that too. And just for me to expound on it just for a minute, I believe it's more than $350,000. Not that they're gonna give that. I'm just saying what it's owed is close to, if not owed, at the minimum, it is what it's owed. It's at least $180 trillion. I don't know how in the fuck they come up with 350,000 per person. That ain't shit compared to what was lost. Well, yeah. Go ahead.
Real quick, I just watched a video, and I'm not even going to tell you the name of the title because you probably watched it too. Because we're probably in the same algorithm. Let me get it, and then I'll send it to you in the chat.
All right, let's go back and forth. I'll mute myself, and then while you talking, then you mute yourself while I'm talking. I think that might have been the problem. But yeah, brother Donald, you're right. Black folks do need land. All that land that was taken, all of the resources that were taken, at the minimum, that's at least $200 trillion. You know what I mean? And then he's saying he doesn't believe in natural gas. I don't believe. I believe it when I see it. I say it like that. But if it is true, then we're looking at a new age in America in regard to economic clout and flexing that clout as to what it can do politically and economically and spiritually within our community and what it does for us physically as far as coming together and fighting our enemies. You know what I mean? So, you want to say something, Brother Elias? Go ahead.
I sent it, and before you, if you want to show just a few seconds of it or whatever you do, you can read the people the title of it before you go in. I yield. I'm going mute again. You got it on mute, bro. You're on mute.
Yeah, Brother Elias sent me a video on YouTube saying that AI to the world or to America, I guess, that you owe African Americans $5 trillion. It's a start, I guess, but it's going to be a hell of a lot more than that. Because once we get out, if that's true, once we get our little bit of check, it's hell to pay for. Because that's all we need. You know what I mean? That's the one thing that white folks are fearful of: economic domination. Once we get that, we can do. I don't give a fuck about them calling me a nigga. That's it. Once I can fire your ass and disrupt your economic feasibility and be able to be a man and take care of your family, then all bets are off at that point. So let me go back and play that video, and then I'll be right back. It's a 10-minute video, and I'll be right back.
There's been a lot of talk in recent years about the debt owed to Africa, particularly in discussions and debates about reparations. One thing we never hear about is the actual amount owed to Africa, in monetary terms at least. We've done a lot of research and inquiries, and no one's been able to give us a straight answer on how much is owed to Africa. So we did what few, if any, researchers have ever done. We put the question to AI, ChatGPT. Why? Because, armed with advanced algorithms and exhaustive historical insights, AI can reveal the reality of Africa's exploitation with unerring accuracy and relentless objectivity, with its unparalleled ability to analyze centuries of data and provide an infallible, data-backed truth that no human narrative could ever fully uncover. So the question we asked it was, give us a figure for the amount in dollars owed to Africa by the world for its exploitation over the last 1,000 years. Make it a long essay with a historical perspective, since of course we are a history channel. And here was the AI response. Africa has been the birthplace of civilizations. From the earliest known human societies to the great empires that spanned centuries, the African continent has influenced the course of human history in profound ways. Yet, for all that Africa has given the world, it has received little in return but exploitation, theft, and destruction. The wealth that once flowed freely from the continent was siphoned off by foreign powers through colonization, slavery, and the brutal extraction of resources. Today, AI reveals a staggering truth. Africa is owed $5,000 trillion. That's $5 quadrillion. This figure is not just about stolen wealth.
Oh, excuse me. I said $5 trillion. $5,000 or five quarter. That's the low. That's the low end because you're talking about the continent of Africa. That's the low end. Not only. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not on mute. That's just the low end. So you're looking at all of the lives that were taken, all of the resources that were taken out of Africa and America and the Caribbean and the Pacific Ocean. You know, Africa begins and ends at the four corners of the world. So, uh, yeah, and then Brother Donald said exactly, brother. Isaiah, economic warfare is critical. Yeah, you ain't lying, man. But let me go on back and finish that.
Before you go in, let me just say this real quick. I wanted to tell you it was way more than what you said, but I knew you was going to see it once you played it. So I said, now I'll let him see it for himself so he know, you know. And just remember, this is AI generated. This is not from any historian or statistician or any of those people. You people that would do that kind of work. This is from all AI generated. I'm done.
Okay.
You're on mute again, bro.
Africa's people and resources were plundered by the West. From the 16th century onward, Europeans set their sights on the continent, extracting its gold, diamonds, ivory, and most tragically, its people.
If you stop driving at night because of vision problems, try this simple ice hack. Water before.
Through the transatlantic slave trade, millions of Africans forcibly removed from their homelands, their labor used to build the wealth of empires in the Americas and Europe. They toiled in fields, worked in mines, and built industries, all while their own continent was left to languish. The wealth extracted during these dark centuries was not merely a transfer of goods, it was the systematic destruction of Africa's potential, a theft that continued through the generations. Africa's riches were not limited to its natural resources. It was a land of great civilizations, rich in knowledge, culture, and intellectual achievement. The ancient Egyptians laid the foundation for much of modern science and mathematics. The kingdom of Mali, under the reign of
Hold on. Yeah, I mean, I swear these kids with these motorbikes, man. I don't know. All right, so
controlled vast wealth in gold and was once one of the most prosperous empires in the world. These were societies that led in many fields, from astronomy to architecture, and yet they were exploited and destroyed by external forces who saw only an opportunity to take. The AI calculation reveals that $5,000 trillion is the high estimate of the debt owed to Africa, considering the stolen resources, forced labor, and lost opportunity. The number might seem astronomical, but when we look at the vastness of the theft, both tangible and intangible, it becomes clear that this debt is more than just an economic figure. It represents the centuries of exploitation and the lives that were stolen. The wealth Africa was denied could have powered entire industries, advanced scientific research, and allowed Africa to become the global leader it was always meant to be. When we talk about reparations, it's easy to focus solely on the wealth taken from Africa. But there is another, equally staggering loss, the opportunity cost. The wealth stolen over centuries was not just in the form of gold, diamonds, and human labor. It was also in the potential of an entire continent, stunted by centuries of exploitation. Imagine what Africa could have been had its natural resources and human capital been allowed to flourish without interruption. Let's consider the lost potential of just one of Africa's many prosperous civilizations, the Kingdom of Mali. At its height, Mali controlled vast amounts of gold and salt, two of the most coveted commodities in the world. In the 14th century, Mansa Musa, the emperor of Mali, made his famous pilgrimage to Mecca, bringing with him so much gold that it destabilized economies across the Mediterranean. If Africa had been allowed to keep that wealth and build upon it, there's no telling where it could have gone. Mansa Musa's Mali could have been the Silicon Valley of the medieval world, pioneering not just trade, but scientific discovery, education, and technological advancement. Instead, its wealth was drained by foreign invaders and colonial powers.
Hold on.
The historical record shows that African nations and empires were not only rich in resources, but rich in knowledge, arts, and culture. From the astronomical precision of the ancient Egyptians to the advanced engineering feats of the great Zimbabwe civilization, Africa was poised to lead the world in intellectual, cultural, and technological progress. But the theft of its resources, the destruction of its societies, and the capture of its people left the continent in a state of constant rebuilding. Now, consider the impact of slavery, the forced transportation of millions of Africans to the Americas. Not only did this act rob Africa of its human potential, but it also robbed the world of the contributions those millions of Africans would have made. Enslaved Africans brought with them knowledge, skills, and innovation that would have bolstered Africa's development. Their labor, forced into foreign economies, could have been the fuel that powered African nations to the forefront of global progress. Imagine what the African continent could have looked like today if that human capital had been preserved, if the intellectual and economic forces of those millions of people had been channeled into building African nations instead of fueling the growth of Europe and the Americas. The opportunity cost is incalculable. It isn't just about the wealth extracted, it's about the vibrant societies, economies, and cultures that were never allowed to reach their potential. This, too, must be included in the reparations owed to Africans. The $5,000 trillion figure, which has already been calculated based on stolen resources, human labor, and historical injustice, only begins to scratch the surface when we account for the opportunity cost. If we were to factor in what Africa could have achieved had it been allowed to flourish uninterrupted for the past 500 years, the debt owed multiplies exponentially. When we talk about the future of reparations, we must also talk about reinvestment in Africa's potential. The $5,000 trillion is not just a payment for past injustices. It is a down payment on Africa's future, one that has the potential to reshape the world in ways we can barely imagine. The return of wealth, knowledge, and technology to the African continent would not just heal historical wounds, it would ignite a renaissance that could transform the global order. Africa, with its rich history, culture, and resources, is not just a passive victim of exploitation, it is a sleeping giant. The world owes Africa far more than money. It owes it the opportunity to claim its place as a leader, not only in economics, but in innovation, science, and culture. Only by acknowledging its lost potential can we begin to heal the wounds of the past, forge a future where Africa is not just a land of resources, but a land of boundless opportunity.
Lo llaman trabajo virtual, home
Ahora.
office, teletrabajo, hablan de revolución digital, de industria.
Now that we understand the magnitude of the theft, let's break down how the figure of $5,000 trillion comes to life. This number is not a simple estimate, but a calculated sum based on historical records, the extraction of resources, forced labor, and the opportunity cost that Africa has suffered over the centuries. The foundation for this calculation lies in the vast amounts of gold, diamonds, and other valuable resources extracted from the continent during the colonial and slavery periods. These are not just numbers on a spreadsheet. They represent the lives and labor of millions of Africans who were never compensated for their work. In conclusion, the $5,000 trillion owed to Africans is not just a figure. It is the story of exploitation, of potential unfulfilled, and of a continent robbed of its rightful place in the world. But this story is not over. The AI revelation, though sobering, also provides a glimmer of hope. Reparations, though long overdue, could serve as the catalyst for Africa's resurgence. The return of wealth and investment to Africa's future is not just an act of justice, it is an opportunity to unlock the full potential of one of the most dynamic and resource-rich continents. With the right investments in education, technology, and infrastructure, Africa can reclaim its place as a global leader, shaping the future for all of humanity. The debt owed is staggering, but the rewards of paying it forward could be even greater. It's time for the world to acknowledge what it owes and take the necessary steps toward a just and prosperous future for Africa. Thanks for watching this episode. Do remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And look out for the next one on Africa's great civilizations.
All right, that's a good one, man. I appreciate you with that one. That's really good. But let me throw this one at you. Hey, Brother Willie, thank you for coming. So, what we've been talking about, what tonight's episode is about, is the importance of black folks. Because without us, the world cannot be and would not be. And the first video dealt with Asian people admitting to the fact that if it wasn't for black people, there could not be and would not be 22 million Asians in the country making their money, getting their money on. When that was due to the civil rights movement of the 60s. The other video dealt with the fact that what Brother Elias brought on, what the world owed the continent of Africa, or African period, and then the fact that Africa begins and ends at the four corners of the world. And without us, the world cannot be and would not be. And this is where we have to draw the line. We got to be dead serious about what is going on and sharing that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding with our current and future generation. Because if you're not giving them the tools and the weapon to fight the greatest enemy of us, which is ignorance, giving them the knowledge, giving them the weapon of wisdom to fight foolishness, and giving them the weapon to fight whatever the opposite of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, whatever the opposite of that is, then we're at a loss. We're going up the river without a paddle. You know, it's just not. It won't be possible. Yeah, I'm going to deal with that because I sent Brother Muhammad an Aesop fable, and we're going to cover that tonight. So, is there anything else you want to add, Brother Elias? So, what we're going to do, we're going to hold on. Yeah. So, what we're gonna cover that, and then we're gonna go to this video of this Asian guy.
Descubre el email de GoDaddy con Microsoft 365. Da una imagen más profesional.
Hold on. Okay, yeah, this is the one I show where the Asian people are admitting the fact that without us, without black folk, they could not be and would not be. And that's a good thing. You know, it's just a matter that white supremacy at the door of understanding are making us feel like, you know, we ain't shit. That there's a gap between us and them, and whatever images that they put out. They spend billions, tens of billions, hundreds, if not hundreds of billions of dollars annually, white folk, to keep their image up. Now, you know, all you got to do is just throw the rock of truth at that bitch or the brick, and that shit start crumbling down. And one of the things that they cannot understand and can never will be able to understand is that they ain't shit. Can you imagine waking up one day and you really know who you really are, who your ancestors really were? Rabbit fucking dog. Literally. So, defecating on yourself, urinating on yourself, covered with hair, stinking from here to stinking from here to China. And black folks are the one who cleaned you up, taught you how to bathe, brush your teeth, wash your hair. That's a mighty big rock to fall on your fucking head. And white folk are going crazy trying to understand that. They wouldn't be able to understand it. So let me go on to the next video. This one, I like this guy, you guys. The Amazing Lucas, something like that. Yeah, I am Amazing Lucas. So we're going to sit back.
Hey, brother Isaiah, real quick. Isn't it amazing with what you just said, how people don't know that the phrase, you don't hear it too much like you did maybe 20, 30 years ago, but there's a saying that goes, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because they used to rarely bathe, and when they did, it would be the father who would do the first bath, then the mother might come and she do the second in the same water, in the same tub of water with no drain, not a running faucet in a bathtub with running water. And then by the time you get to the youngest member of the family, sometimes the water was so mucky and mired that they didn't even see the baby in there. And this was a literal term, and that's why they call it, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Another one that they originated too, and these all have a foundation, a basis and foundation. Another one was, he's so poor he ain't got a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of, because they didn't build their houses with windows. They would just open whatever vessel they use to go in and out and throw out the shit, piss, whatever they did, because they took it with them. That's where you don't take a shit, you leave it. You don't take a piss, you leave it. So those phrases all come from medieval England, when they were having bubonic plagues and all that, because they were throwing piss and shit out the window, and the rats was eating it up and all that, and they was being diseased by the very same rats and roaches and ants and mosquitoes that was affecting them. Maybe not mosquitoes, because British is pretty cold, so I'm sure they don't have a long mosquito season if they have one at all. So just wanted to give people a little foundation on that. You can move on next, bro.
Yeah, that's a good point. While I'm sitting here eating my popcorn. I don't know what the hell my wife does to it, but she makes some hella popcorn. But anyway, yeah, I agree. And once we get to understanding that white folks ain't shit, you can be like, God damn, get the fuck out of here, you nasty motherfucker. You be just that plain and simple with these bitches. Cause they ain't shit. Never have been shit. They are like fly. They love landing on shit, eating shit, talking shit, having birds and shit. And black people, we're like bees. Very productive, maintaining the hive, protecting the hive. Some of us gotta die to remain free, and we pollinate other plants or neighbors. Now, the thing is that we need to stop trying to explain bees, that is, of what we are. We need to stop trying to explain to these fucking flies that eating honey is better than eating shit. They would never understand that. The white folks are just fucking stupid, dumb, and just one step up from the monkey. This is not no hateful shit that I'm saying. These are scientific facts. And I dare motherfucker, and especially a white bitch or a bastard, to invite me onto this show. Steve Piers Morgan, Bill O'Reilly, Tommy Lawrence, or whatever the fuck. You know I done sent them invitations about my book, The White Man Burden of Lies into Sea. And I have yet to come onto the show or hear anything or nothing. So I know they're not coming. and especially on my show. So with that, let's try to move on. But we don't have a lot. Let's get to our boy Amazing Lucas. I'll be right back.
Place right now, but Doge of Elon and Musk. And he's asked, hey, why did you change your mind about H-1B visas? Trump answers this question and says he didn't change his mind, that we need more competent people in the country.
Why did you change your mind on H-1B visas? I didn't change my mind on myself. We have to have competent people in our country. Competent people.
I want to stop right there because I believe that that's a smack in the face to all Americans here. I believe that's an absolute direct insult to the same people who voted for him, okay? I think that it's delicious, all right? It's poetic justice. The same people that voted for him, he is now saying, y'all not competent enough, okay? Because I would argue he's piggybacking off of what Vivek and Elon Musk said. Elon Musk said, y'all are dumb. Vivek said, hey, y'all white people are mediocre and lazy. That's what they said. Vivek said, you're mediocre, white people, y'all mediocre, and you're lazy. Your culture is trash, all right? That's why we need to bring people here, because y'all not doing anything. And I want you to truly, truly grasp what that means. Because I would argue that this country has made people dumb. This country has gone out of its way to systemically make people dumb. Its solution to making people dumb is to import other people.
Not like this. Not like this.
That's the goal. And he follows this up with, hey, we need more people. We need a lot of people because there's going to be a lot of jobs.
We need smart people coming into our country. A lot of people coming in. We're going to have jobs like we've never had before. But sir, you changed your position.
Bro, what are you talking about? There's going to be a lot of jobs. There's not a lot of jobs now. And if there are a lot of jobs, you're telling me that the jobs are going to outmatch the amount of people on unemployment, the American workers? That's what you're telling me? I don't think so, fam. But I want people to understand this is what you voted for. You voted to screw yourselves. Once again, by the shirt, I didn't vote for this, it's coming. But I want people to understand you voted to screw yourself. Because when it came to black people, right, and they were talking about, hey, the lower paid jobs, that's what they meant by black jobs, if we're going to be honest, the lower wage jobs were being taken. Okay, you had an influx of cheap labor that was taking these low skilled jobs, which is really was the backbone and the bread and butter of many Black American jobs. Okay, at least for entry level position jobs, those jobs disappeared. Nobody cared, right? Nobody cared because they were black jobs, right? They were low skilled jobs. We don't care. Fine, we make them more money. Now that it's impacting white America, who told their kids to go to college, to go get a degree, to go get an engineering degree or go get this degree, because they constantly want to tell black people, oh, don't go to college, all right? Just pick up a trade. You don't need to go to college, all right? You can be successful without college. And they constantly tell poor white people, don't go to college. You don't need college. College, that's a thing of the past. Now, do they tell their kids that? Did the elites tell their kids that? No. They tell their kids, you better go to college. And we can see by when it comes to admissions, these people are willing to cheat, steal, and kill to get their child into these colleges. But yet, at the same time, want to tell you, don't go to college. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. You can be successful without college. But yet, when you go to try and apply for a job, what do they constantly ask you? Well, you have to have a BA at least. You have to have some type of, education. You have to have some type of previous work experience. That's what they constantly want to do. It's a catch-22. Where they constantly want to tell black people, don't vote, okay? Y'all need to take a stand. Don't vote. Where they tell everyone else, y'all better get out and vote. Y'all better get out and vote. If you don't vote, you're voting for Kamala, all right? If you don't vote for Trump, you're voting for Kamala. If you vote for independent, you're voting for Kamala. Is that what you want? They go out of their way. They spend millions and millions and millions to tell people, white people and non-black people to vote. But when it comes to us, what does all the COINTELPRO Negro say on YouTube? Oh, sit on the couch. Couch 2024. So I want people to understand that there's very much a difference in opinions depending on who you are and how much you make.
He's out of line, but he's right.
And now that it's impacting some of the more high-skilled jobs, now all of a sudden we have an immigration problem. Now all of a sudden, what's going on here? What's happening? We got to do something about it. Y'all weren't doing anything when it came to our jobs. You all weren't doing anything when it came to our community. Okay? You were applauding the gentrification. Now that it's happening to your communities, now it's a problem. Now we got to do something. And you elected the same person that was doing all of this. You elected the same group of people that was screwing us over, and now they're going to screw you over. That's essentially what's happening. Damn, that is exactly what's going to come these next few years, is that they're telling you that you're dumb. They created you to be dumb. Rest assured, that's what they did. They created you. When you look at the media, when you look as far as what they're promoting, when you look at the divisiveness, when you look at the degeneracy, that's what they're promoting, okay? The culture that they want to promote. And then they want to bring in people who are willing to do anything and everything for half of what you're willing to do. Of course you're going to lose that job. Of course you are. They're cheaper and they work harder. Why wouldn't you give it to them? They have led the American people to extinction. Okay? That's what they have done. They have led you to extinction, making you believe, hey, if I just work harder, it'll happen. Hey, if I just put more hours in the company, I'll be rewarded. You know, that's what they've made you to become, is a worker bee. They don't tell that to their kids. They tell you to become a worker bee. That's what they do. Become a worker bee so you can work for my son. Become a worker bee so you can work for my daughter. Become a worker bee so you can work for my corporation. That's what they programmed you to do. And yes, that may have worked back in the day where you had a pension and companies or all this. That does not work currently. That hasn't worked for the last few generations. That hasn't worked. So what has happened is that these companies have forgotten you. You mean nothing to them. All this, this corporate, synergy and all that, that is bullcrap. And unfortunately, they have managed to convince a lot of the majority white population that it still exists. That, hey, if you just do everything by the book, you'll be okay. In the meantime, between time, the corporations, these CEOs, these heads are getting bigger and bigger. They're making more money, and your wages are becoming stagnant. Or they want more. They want triple, quadruple the work output for a little insignificant raise. That's what's happening, and you have managed to be programmed and conditioned to believe that's good. That's okay. That's acceptable. That's great. Hey, you just put in the work and you'll get it. Just do that. You become a worker bee. And now the worker bee is getting screwed. That's what's happening. You've been conditioned to be a worker bee and believe, hey, I'm going to just give all my faith into the higher ups. That's what I'm going to do. Didn't Enron teach you mofos anything? Didn't our last recession teach you mofos anything? Didn't the housing bubble teach you mofos anything? But yet you guys are still in this slave mentality, in this worker bee mentality, and now y'all are going to be extinct because now they're importing your replacement. That's what they're doing. Because why? They don't care about American citizens. They care about profit. They care about dollar bill. They manage you to. They tell you, hey, money isn't everything. As they go back into the Bugatti in their mansions in their private community. Okay, that's what they tell you. And somehow, unfortunately, y'all have bought it. Y'all bought it hook, line, and sinker. So yes, this is what's happening. This is what you voted for. Congratulations, you played yourself. Anyways, guys, that's video. Let me know what you guys think. He means the best for the country, okay? He wants the best for the country. And, we do need more competent people, all right? That's what we do need more people. Or, I believe, aren't you competent? Don't you deserve that job? Huh? You tell me. Why are we going into debt for a job that we won't even get? Make that make sense. I can't make any sense of it. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Now you constantly, the people who have gone into debt to get these jobs, they're not getting the jobs. And then the country wants to say, well, we're not even going to, give you a debt, what do you call it? Forgiveness. They want to stop that. Republicans have wanted to stop everything that allowed you to get your edge. They want you to be in debt and then blame it on you. When you get into debt and go into bankruptcy due to medical bills, that's your fault for getting sick. That's your fault for breaking your leg. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, but it's about to change for a lot of people. Y'all about to get a serious reality check. And I try to warn you. I try to save you, but it is what it is. Nevertheless, if you happen to disagree, you know where to find me Friday through Sunday. Disagreement Day, number on screen, call in, we'll duke it out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think about this, and subscribe, and that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing.
Yeah, I like that guy for a lot of reasons. I don't agree with everything he says, but 95%, yeah, he be on point. What do you think, man?
What I think is this, brother, was pushing this, and that was at least 25% of his message. What's driving the narrative now is that even these crackers that we considered rich 10 years ago, the ones that, keep a $60,000, $70,000 car and live in a different part of town, we don't know that some of these people, they rent their house and the car's on lease. So it's not wealth, it's show, because you don't own it. So what a wealthy person owns just about everything they do. In other words, if when they go order a car, they have a retainer with the car dealership and they order a fleet. They don't order 2 cars. Yeah, my mother's gonna need one. My little sister's coming into town next month. My uncle's gonna be here in a few weeks, because when they go to their people, they get the same treatment. So they gotta have the same things because they all deal with each other. And that is wealth. We look at people that we perceive to be rich because they drive in a brand new Benz and dress nice and have some lofty position downtown as rich. They're not rich. Excuse me, they're not wealthy, they're rich. You know what I'm saying? They live on credit cards and all that. These people, like, they wire transfer their money. Nobody publicly sees that money moving around. So with that said, what I'm saying, the reason why it's affecting even white folks we perceive to have money that really don't, they're rich, they're not wealthy, it's affecting them now, and it's driving the narrative, because we always knew this shit, because we've been going through it and we still going through it. And to live now is astronomically expensive. So 10 years ago, you made 80,000, you should have been good. 80,000 don't cut it no more, bro. That's a regular salary now. For white folks, I'm talking for white folks. For most of us, we ain't making it like that. I'm talking at a 9-to-5 corporate job or something like that. I'm not talking about, you flipping YouTube pages and, cryptocurrency and this, that, whatever. You making what you making when you're doing that, regardless of color. That doesn't require anything for anybody to know who you are. But those white folks that I'm talking about, that they got money, but it don't go too far nowadays. And that's what's driving the narrative for everybody to be talking about it. We just admitting we've been going through it. What's new is new for you. And with that said, I yield.
Yeah, good point. I don't think we're going to be here for too long. So we're just going to go through this. But I really want people to be mindful of what tonight's show is all about. It's unmasking the face of white supremacy, which is really the face of a man, woman, girl, boy, who are scared of what is going to happen to them and what is happening to them and what will forever happen to them. Because the sins of the father and mother are always visited upon their children, and all of this hate that white folks have spread upon the earth, it is coming back on their children's heads. No ifs, no ands, no buts. And I'm black. You can tell that. Well, I can tell you this: when black folk tell you, "Don't worry about it. It's good. Don't worry about it. We're good." That means we just waiting on our time. That's all. The tables do turn, and as they are turning now, all hell is going to break loose on your funky white wannabe asses. I don't like white folk, not one of them, and that's not a hateful thing to say. That's not an evil thing to say. What I hate is what they are. They are the living embodiment of the seven deadly sins: greed, uh, gluttony, sloth, envy, pride, wrath, and lust. They have always been like that. Will always be like that. There's no change in these people. These people are flies, and they love to eat shit. And it's a waste of black folk time, money, energy, trying to convince a fly that bees or that honey is better tasting than shit. Don't waste your time like that. You don't waste your time. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go on to the next one. And this one, I'm not gonna play it all the way through, but I'm gonna make a related map of which I sent to brother Maurice. This is the map of all the places where motherfuckers are staying drones and shit. All white motherfuckers. Well, I'm a nigga. I ain't never seen these motherfuckers. This is where this is where right here. This is where the Dominican Republic is. This is Puerto Rico. This is Cuba. This is the Bahamas. You don't see none of that shit all up in here and all up in Europe. You don't see none of that shit where niggas are. Not a one. White folks are seeing shit that, I wish I would run into a green bitch. I have a leg spread so quick it'll make your head swim. But anyway, saying they believing, but white folk don't lost their goddamn mind. And here we go. Hold on, let me get back.
So can I ask you a question real quick, brother?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You believe that all of those aircraft, whatever they are, UAPs, UFOs, whatever they calling them today, do you believe that they are all man-made drones, or do you believe some are ships, or do you believe they're all ships? What is your basic take on that?
I believe they're blue beam, probably. But I don't know. I never seen. I look up into the sky all day, every day, during the day, during the night. I'm looking at it right now throughout our window, and I don't see shit but stars.
No, but I'm asking you. That's not the question. That's not quite the question. What I'm asking you is, what do you think they are? The people who are seeing it, based on everything you know.
I don't know. I don't know. But like I said, seeing is believing. And if they come up on the Dominican Republic and land somewhere, I will be there and ask them what the fuck you doing with my gun drawn.
Trust me. If they're otherworldly entities, they're friendly for us. It's our time, bro, and it's not just here on this earth, in the firmament, wherever the fuck we at. I don't know either, bro. I'm not trying to challenge you with that question. I just want to know what you think, because whatever we think, there's a whole, and there was a department at one time in the Pentagon that sole purpose was debunking UFOs or otherworld shit, celestial shit, let's say. So otherworldly shit. And it got so, and this information I got from Behold the Pale Horse. This book was written in maybe 89, 90, right before the first Gulf War. Daddy Bush, not the son. And in it, he said that this department had to get banned because people was just debunking them, because that was around the time. Now, again, for those of you who are not old enough to remember, that was around the time when video cameras started becoming popular. But like anything really big at that time, you know, those were new. I mean, of course, movie studios and all that could afford to get them. That's what they do. You make movies. You got to have cameras. But at that time, in order to have that kind of camera, now we so take it for granted. We can film anything with our phone now. We don't remember that there was, or we don't know because we don't have the age to remember to get a simple camcorder back then was like fucking $5,000. That was a fortune. You could buy a car with that shit back then. You know, and that's just one camera. If you're a film studio, you gotta have 100 of them motherfuckers in different kinds and so on. So people don't understand that back then they had to ban that department because so many people was filming shit. And you know, all of them didn't have cameras, but like you call your cousin, he lived down the street, he got money, he doing some investing, scamming shit back then, you know what I'm saying? He got a camera, he can come outside and take pictures of that shit and show it moving. Like, I don't know what the fuck that is, that NASA ain't had no permission to fly no shit on the airport, ain't reporting that shit took off from the airport. You know what I'm saying? So this has been going on for a while. And whatever's up there, it's increased exponentially, big brother. With that here.
Well, Brother Willie said, Brother Isaiah, I don't think you need a gun. They are for us and against our enemy. I pray that to be so. Well, like I said, seeing is believing. Once I see white folks start to drop by the tens of thousands, 100,000, million, then yeah, I bet. You know, we can get our shit on now. You know what I mean? And put them under our foot forever. Cause we ain't getting about their ass, my God. We civilized these people 3 times. Once in Egypt, once in Greece and Rome, and after Spain. There's 3 strikes you out. They're not getting no more chances to run anything because every time they took over, they ran the world for about 150 years, 200 years. And they always run it into the ground because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So, hold on, let me see. I don't think I need to. I'm gonna run this for a few, but not the whole 30 minutes. 30 minutes. We'll see what the hell you're talking about.
Well, apparently there's something really bizarre going on, and it started in South Carolina. This is what I'm talking about.
I hope you can hear this. They're breaking limbs bigger around than me. What in God's name? I've never seen anything like it in my life. I mean, look at that.
So a man in South Carolina is claiming to have seen a massive creature climbing up one of the trees in his backyard and taking it down in a matter of seconds. Of course, this led a lot of people to believe there's some sort of massive alien-like creature roaming around. I'm not sure that this is the case, but I did check the video. It's a 3.5-minute video, and it's kind of weird. The thing is, there are hundreds of people already freaking out over this because it is being said that this is a predator, alien-like creature that is able to cloak. And it's all over social media right now, and after watching the entire video, you may actually start thinking the same thing. I would not be surprised if after all these sightings we start getting to see more videos like this.
Hey, bro, can you stop this for 1 second? I just want to say something really quick.
Okay. Go ahead.
For anyone out there, most of us have seen it, especially if you're over 30. It was a very popular movie back in the day called The Predator. That is exactly like how the Anunnaki look. And they had almost all of the qualities spoken of in the movie that they had in the movie. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sure you can find it on Tubi or something free where you ain't got to pay for it and all this and that. There was a very popular movie back in the day with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it before he became the governor of California. So for those of you out there who want to know what they're talking about, if I think it's what they're talking about, he's talking about an Anunnaki who are definitely here on this earth. But that's a whole nother story we might have to get into on the next one, Brother Isaiah. I yield back to you. I thank you for the pausing it for a second.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. So yeah, I remember that too. It's like a glimmering kind of image that the predator can get into to be incognito, I guess, or invisible. But you can see the outline of the predator and all of that.
And that's exactly what's in the movie too, if you remember it.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go back and try to run a couple of more minutes.
Now let me make this very clear. I'm very skeptical about all of this. It could be a very elaborate psyop. And this is why I decided to make this video, to take a closer look at all the possibilities. So in this particular video, let's take a look at some things. The full video. Why people are freaking out over this. Is it really some sort of alien-like creature that can cloak? Are there other videos suggesting that these cloaking creatures exist? Let's also take a look at the newest sightings of these orbs and drones in New York and many other places.
Oh, what the is this, bro? What the is this shit?
These videos suggest that these things are way more technologically advanced than we previously thought. The thing is this just a coincidence? Or do these alien-like creatures that are supposedly being spotted have something to do with the current sightings? In a few minutes, we'll deep dive into that, but first, let's begin with the basic, and that would be this man's video in South Carolina.
I hope you can hear this. This sounds like gorillas fighting in the tree. They're breaking limbs bigger around than me.
Oh boy. What was that?
I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Why did you...
This is the second time I've come over here. And the first time when I got up under them trying to figure out what it was, they started breaking limbs off and throwing them at me. And I still cannot figure out what it is.
So this is the second time.
Look, they're ruining this freaking place. What in God's name is it? It's bigger than me, whatever it is. Because it's breaking limbs off that it would take me 2 minutes to solve.
What's that noise?
Look, see, he's coming right above me right here. Yeah, they don't like you messing with me.
Look at that.
What in God's name? What's going on? Look, that's bigger than me. Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
What in Jesus' name is doing this? Oh my God, he just took half the tree down.
Wait a second, I saw something.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Now, you know, if niggas seen this shit in the backyard, they wouldn't be still standing there. They'd be running their ass up like, man, fuck that shit. Why?
Are you saying they shoot the movie?
You know what I mean? White folks just stupid, man. Why would you just stand up? Oh my God, I seen something. Motherfucker, run, bitch. Run. If it ain't human,
Hey, brother Isaiah, they're not gonna waste no bullets. They're gonna let the sun do it, man. You're on mute.
those sun players are no joke.
You're on mute again, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So white folks just standing there and waiting around. Oh my God. What in the Jesus name is this, buddy? Wow. What the fuck are you? Run, motherfucker, run. If you don't know what the fuck it is, you're saying something glimmering. Don't stand there.
Hey, he had said on the video that he had came back from the first time when it was throwing down branches at him. It was throwing branches at him. So the thing wasn't killer, man. I don't know. Did you see the size of the outline of that thing? I think that it looked like a fucking hippo. Like if you can actually see it's like a hippo or some shit. Hippos are massive, bro. Them shits weigh like 3,000-4,000 pounds a piece.
Right.
Easy. Oh man, that was oh my.
But white folks just dumb, man. They're gonna stick around and just see some shit. You don't need. There are some things you don't need to see. Just run. Right. Let me go on to the next. Now this next video deals with what white folks do all the time. They all up in your business, and it's embarrassing for them because they actually believe they run shit. And this is the delusion that white people have, and it permeates throughout each and every generation or so. Not or so, but every generation. So we'll play it. Hold on, let's see. We'll play it, and then and we'll be right back.
Are you using our internet?
Yeah?
Are you using our internet?
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah?
Are you using the internet?
No, we have not yet connected.
I'm just wondering what you're doing over here.
All the time, this place is good for me.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't.
Like, if I talk to Arab people, I have to show them this thing.
I see.
They can be very happy. That's why all the time you are seeing me here.
Okay, I was just wondering why you were here. You're showing the hotel.
Yeah, I'm saying, show them the hotels. That's why all the time.
Okay.
Who's
the baby?
Hello, monkeys. I have such high expectations for you.
So, just got some news the other day. See, I own this house, and I also own another house about 24 miles away in the country. It's a 7-acre ranch house, full solar, have my own well, propane tank, almost off the grid. But now California is talking about installing meters on my property in the country, so I will have to pay for my water that's on my property that I have a well that I had put down to pump my water to me. And they want to start putting meters. Now, this house is metered. I have to pay $149 for water and trash, and if I go over, my water bill goes high, my allotment. My country house, that's my water. That's not the county's water. It's not even under their pipes. It's county. They want to start putting a meter on there.
The problem with wrong with America with women, they no longer build the man. First of all, when you get a man, you getting it from his mama, or you getting it from the last bitch. So you gotta take that man and you gotta shape that man in what you want him to be. Y'all, Tom, he ain't got no money. I gotta get up out of here. Let me say this to y'all. I spent 31 years with this when he didn't have the best job. He went to General Motors, spent 22 years building the car some of y'all driving today. When I got to Miss Pat show, I looked at him and said, you can retire. You know why? Because he took, when my rent was $69 on Section 8, that used to pay my rent. You hear me? I hear you. Relationships ain't like that anymore. Y'all don't want to invest in a relationship. You take him for that. Yeah, you want to say we together, and when he ain't got no money.
I always tell people that gay, Latino, African American, and their communities realize that they share the same oppressor is the day we start with. But the problem is our communities are divided. For Asian Americans or for African Americans, who probably have one of the worst relationships.
Well, I bet you a lot of Asian Americans too don't, in my experience, don't even realize that if it wasn't for the civil rights movement, there would not be 22 million Asian Americans.
Thank you. Thank you. What I have been trying to teach the Asian community is like, friends, do you understand that your success, your prosperity, your civil rights that you enjoy right now was paid for with black blood?
A black man accomplished something in my hometown that no other person in the world had done, and I've never heard about it. In 1906, Charles Frederick Page was the first person to have a patent approved for an aircraft, about 4 to 6 months before the Wright brothers. He built a full-scale aircraft in Pineville, Louisiana, sent it off to the Louisiana Purchase Exhibition in St. Louis, but it never made it there. They assumed that it was stolen or destroyed. They can't really confirm it, but Jim Crow was alive and well at that time. Growing up, all you heard was the Wright brothers, but the fact that the Godfather, the first person to do it, was in my hometown, and we have absolutely no idea who this man is. Since the prototype never made it there, he pretty much left aviation alone and decided to focus on local issues. He opened the Lincoln Memorial Cemetery, which is where I'm at right now. I was trying to find his headstone, but I was unsuccessful at that because it is a lot out here. I walked for like 20 minutes and couldn't find it. No, I just think it's crazy how much history is ignored because somebody was black. Like, this is one of the pivotal things in aviation, and all we hear about is the Wright brothers. Something this important can go on unnoticed for so long just because of how you.
Why should an American citizen, his family's been here 5 or 6 generations, that can go to college, get a degree, and is smart enough, why should they have to compete against the world on the territory inside the United States? It's not fair. Until Silicon Valley, until these places have, I don't know, 20% African American and 20% Hispanic, I'd like to put an exit visa on every college graduate, foreign student that graduated from college here in 30 days to leave and go back home and help make their nation great again. And we shouldn't take any foreign students in community colleges. That should be for American citizens, particularly for African Americans and Hispanics. They're never going to get up the economic chain unless we do this. You're not going to get folks into high value added post-industrial jobs based around artificial intelligence or coding or anything like that until we make the engineering schools and computer science schools available to them. But right now we don't. This is the reason. It's not about intelligence. It's about access to opportunity. This is why Silicon Valley has virtually no African Americans and no Hispanics. It's de minimis. They have to compete against the whole world for those jobs. And this is one of the reasons you're seeing the seething anger is that people aren't getting good jobs. And one of the reasons they're not getting good jobs, they have to compete against the whole world here in the United States. It's simply not fair.
Even if the roads are no we can go oh my God. We can go Let's get married, let's get married. We can do Let's get married, baby, let's get married.
So, listen, lot of my life. Ups and downs, rough times. And my mother always was the one person. 4 years ago, changed that. And now it's been. I go through all of that again to be here in this moment with you. So here in front of everybody who loves us the most, I want to know if you'll spend the rest of my life with me, with my wife.
Now, I wanted to end the video on a nice note, and I felt that that marriage proposal was a very nice note, and also to showcase the fact that you have a black man getting married to a black woman. Because, again, the main theory that is out there is that black men don't love and don't want to get married to black women. But again, if you want to happen to find the information, there's plenty of black men that are married or getting married or are engaged or are in relationships with black women directly out there. You just have to look for it. If you don't want to find it, then you don't want to find it. I want to bring us back to this video because I find it very hilarious that they always say that they've changed. You can listen to the voice. You can clearly tell that is an American in Africa, right? So obviously he doesn't belong there. He's not native to that land at all. No generations, no people, no kids, no nothing, right? But he's there. And as stated, this is a hotel. So again, this is something that more than likely he doesn't even own or has a stake in. He's just vacationing for this moment in time. How he got there, I have no clue, but I feel that whatever African nation that is, you guys need to send him right back from whence he came because this is 100% disrespectful. But the main point is this. The true Americans out there always want to say that, oh, why are you guys so focused and fixated on race? We are all human and yada, yada, yada. But the thing is, listening to this video, why is it that you're in somebody else's land, somebody else's country, and you're questioning them on why it is that they're outside? Huh? Where do you get the gall to do any? Oh, that's right. You're colonizers. It's within your DNA. It's a part of your bloodline. Historically, this just is who it is that you are. Even though you try to tell everybody that a leopard or a zebra can change its stripes or its spots. This is what you typically like to do. You want to change the history. You want to twist and change the narrative so that it benefits you and puts you in a better or a greater light and makes everybody else look up to and worship you. But those who know you and who have been around you for the longest time, we're not falling for that nonsense at all. And again, this was 100% disrespectful. I'm not sure if it really registered for this young woman that he was being disrespectful, but he 100% was. There's no reason, if you're going to somebody else's country, that you're asking any of the native people there, why are you here? Why are you there? Shouldn't you be in your own land, your own country? Shouldn't you be amongst your own people? Like, it's crazy to me. Like I said, you guys never change. Never change. And I know some people are like, oh man, this isn't indicative of every single white person out there. This would be like me taking a video of black people committing crime and saying that all black people, well, you guys do that anyway. Historically, you've been doing that. AA, Reefer Madness. Y'all been putting out a lot of this type of news and framing black men as these types of villains when you know inherently that is just not us. But in order to sell whatever you're trying to sell, you have to make somebody the villain. And what is the biggest villain you reckon? Oh, the big bad guy that everybody's afraid of, the boogeyman, the thing that goes bump in the night? Black men. That's the only thing that you have in order to frighten, in order to make people scared enough so that they will follow every single word that you state, even if it is 100% a lie all the time. But that is it. That's where we are. Like I said, for any of the Africans out here watching, please pay very close attention to these true Americans. And when they start getting disrespectful, teach them never to be disrespectful to you, your people, or your land. Or better yet, just deport them and get them directly up out of there and ban them and their family and their bloodline from ever coming there ever again.
Now this is what I've been saying, what I've been saying all along. Especially this one. I don't want to show them because it's very vicious about what this white guy did to this black woman, that she just loved white folks, and white men in particular, that black men are evil by nature, lazy and trifling, bad fathers. But the opposite is true. And if you ever get a chance to look at this video, you will see the ass whooping she took. And she dismissed all of that, saying he was just mad and angry. Man, like, look, bitch, bitch, bitch. Let me tell you something. If you like it, I love it. So with that, I'll go on to the next one. And
can I address something? Something quickly, please. The part in particular, like the guy mentioned at the end, something I noticed from living in Ghana. Like in Ghana, white people will talk to Africans any kind of way. And I used to love catching them do it, because when I would tell them in perfect American English to leave them the fuck alone because this ain't your country, and that's a fact, all the Ghanaians look astonished that a black person talk to white folks like that in Africa, because nobody does that. They still got that colonial mindset that these niggas is gods. Man, I used to love doing that shit, and I did it a lot, bro. Because I'm like, nah, you're not going to talk to anybody that look like me over here like that. I don't give a fuck if you're an army general or a young alcoholic that don't got no damn shoes on. You ain't going to talk to them like that in front of me. That's all I wanted to say, brother. It's bad over there in Ghana. They don't play that shit in Jamaica or Nigeria.
Oh, they don't get away with that in Jamaica or Nigeria. Yeah. But I can tell you this. If I was there and you came up on that girl like that, I would have bet there'd be no waste of time. I would just slap the shit out of them right there.
Yo, I got about 10 of those stories. That was just a quick one, just to let you know. I got about 10. I mean, I could tell you 3 offhand. I'm not going to do that because the point was well made.
Right. So let's go on to the next one. Hold on. Okay. So this one deals with Patrick Bet David, or the House of David, Bite David. He's an Iranian immigrant who made it big, and Vivek Swami, whatever the fuck his name is. Both of these guys got rich off of scamming people. Then they want to turn around and say they earned it. These bitches didn't earn shit. But let's get into it, and then I'll be right back.
One of my favorite pastimes, all right, is seeing these racist apologists get their wake-up call. Man, there is nothing more gratifying than seeing that happen. And we all know these people, the people like Candace Owens, the Tatums, the Patrick Bet Davids of the world. These people who merely exist to tell the country, hey, there is no racism. There is nothing going on with the country. Black people are just lazy. Hey, if you worked hard enough, you'd be in a better position. Hey, if you didn't have such a victimhood mindset, you'd be in a better position. There is no such thing as racism. Show me one racist law, okay? These people are absolutely sickening. And many of them, ironically enough, are immigrants who come here to the country. Now, mind you, these immigrants know what's going on, and they want to be assimilated. So they have the illusion of inclusion. So they see the racism, and when they do, they say, well, it doesn't exist. And that narrative comes with fame and fortune. Unfortunately, in this country, what better way to prove that the country isn't racist than promoting racist narrative and there being a financial incentive behind it? Yeah, great point you're making. Now I say that because we have one such person, PBD, okay, better known as Patrick Bet David. And ironically enough, yes, he is an immigrant. He's an immigrant from Iran. And I can't help but notice the similarities between him and Vivek and other individuals. Because we had, what was his name? I forgot the dude who's now a felon talking about black people. I forgot his name. Anyways, but then we also have Vivek, who made his fortunes through what? Hustling people, through scamming people, okay? Through rug pulling, selling a fraudulent product and then rug pulling once it hits the market. That's how Vivek made his money. And then we have Patrick Bet-David, who happened to be a victim of community notes. So you know all the issues going on with the H-1B1 visas and everything, and how, you know, MAGA is like, rah, rah, what about white people? And all the immigrants, Vivek is saying, hey, you're mediocre and you're dumb. That's what you are, okay? White people, y'all are dumb and mediocre. Damn. Now you had, as far as Patrick Bet-David, an immigrant, and he goes on under he quotes Vivek's tweet and talks about, hey, I have no problem working, 48 hours being an immigrant. I just want to work hard. I think we should take a look at what Vivek says. just really just foolishness, right? Just absolute nonsense. It's like the reason why you don't mind such absolute trash conditions, because you come from a trash country.
He's out of line, but he's right.
The same thing with Vivek, and the same thing with a lot of you mofos who aren't native to this country, okay? You're immigrants. You come here because your position, the place that you're in, is garbage. You're defecating in the streets. You're drinking pee water. Of course, when you have a CEO of a company who's telling you to work out 20 hours in a day and paying you, pennies on the dollar, you of course can be grateful. You're gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna get the American dream. While you don't understand that, hey, that's not the norm for everyone here. For us here in the country, us citizens who aren't immigrants, yeah, our standard of living is a little bit different than what you've grown accustomed to. So yes, you may be willing to work your, to the bone over, peanuts. We aren't. That's why they use you and exploit you when they can't do that to us. Because we will file a class action lawsuit. We will take their butts to court. We will put out a tweet, a video. We will call the news conference, all right? Because they can't deport us. Patrick Bet-David, under his post, he had the community note talking about, hey, he got his money off of, a scam of multi-level marketing. Just predatory practice, right? Pyramid scheme that's legal. That's how he got his money.
Ironic.
And I find it so interesting that all of these immigrants, the Viveks, the Patrick Bet-Davids, that they constantly want to talk about, the American dream, the American dream. I'm like, yo, you didn't get the American dream. The American dream, if we look at your history and how you got your money, was to scam American people. Is that the American dream? Is it come over here and scam the American people and then talk about the American dream? If only I could go to America and scam the dumb Americans. Is that the American dream you're talking about? Because that's what it seems like it is, okay? And so I want you to understand, these people come over here trying to make money. That is their goal. They want to make money. And they realize the best way they make money is to appease the racists of the country. That's the best way. That's a sure, fast way to make money. We see this with Candace Owens, right? But as we also see with Candace Owens and her Caribbean heritage, we also see that the wake-up call always comes.
Wake up, nigga.
Because he talks about in one of his shows that how there are white nationalists who are attacking him, right? And he's crying about how someone said that, hey, those founding fathers aren't your founding fathers. Because he put out a tweet talking about our founding fathers and everything. It's like, fool. Those aren't your founding fathers.
Look at the tweets. I said, our founding fathers. A guy responds back and says, those are not your founding fathers. Guy posts a picture of the Shah of Iran, says, that's your founding fathers.
Wake up, nigga.
Now all of a sudden PBD has an awakening. Oh, these are nationalists.
A part of this, there's nationalists and there's white nationalists.
I could swear that this man been telling black people all this time about victimhood, right? He's been having people on the show, a bunch of racists, a bunch of white nationalists themselves, and this is the issue that I love, right? This is the hypocrisy that is just delicious. All these immigrants here, whether it's Vivek, whether it's PBD, all of them want to tell black people, Lazy. You're victims, okay? You're victims. They want to buddy with white nationalists, okay? They're not a white nationalist. They just have a different view of the country, right? They love saying that. Oh, they just have a different perspective, okay? They're not a part of the Democrat plantation. They're an independent thinker. The problem comes when these independent thinkers, when these not white nationalists, because they're not white nationalists, they're just people with different opinions, when they turn the reticle on them. That's when the problem comes into play. That's when they have to well, it's less than 5%, right? Because that's what this goofy says. Well, I think the white nationalists are less than 5% of the country, so it's not even that big of a deal.
A part of this, there's nationalists and there's white nationalists. White nationalists, Vinny, don't want people like us. They just don't. White nationalists are a very different model. You view me as go back to Iran. Deport Elon back to, South Africa. Deport Vivek back to India, right? And you make those types of comments. All right, I don't think that's majority of America. I think that's less than 5% of America. Yeah, that's the far right. Nationalist. That's the far right.
Nigga, please. Bro, do you understand what type of hell you have to be in? Do you understand this man's an Iranian immigrant? And they telling him, why don't you leave with Vivek? Okay? Why don't you leave with Vivek? Vivek, why don't you make India great again? Patrick Bet-David, why don't you go make Iran great again, bro? Why don't you go do that? How about you do that? I think America is good where we are right now. How about y'all go help those other countries? That way we don't have to. That way we don't have to import your riffraff or the people who are trying to come here to find the American dream or try to hustle Americans. That way we don't have to deal with your degenerates, okay? But when that message comes towards them, then they want to claim victim. That's when they say, oh, it's these white nationalists. But they even still being confronted with this man, PBD, is tap dancing. Just tap dancing, talking about, oh, it's less than 5%. I don't think that's the majority of the country. But these people, they don't like us, man. They don't like us. But I don't think that's the majority of the country. Even still, bro. Even still getting your wake-up call, you choosing not to answer the door, bro. They bamming the door, breaking windows. That's the storm, okay? That's the storm. That's not the racists, okay? They would never do something like that. These people are just, they are what's wrong with the country. It's as simple as that. They are what's wrong with the country because we have been going through this for generations, all right? We have been bringing grievances, the problems. Hey, this is what's going on. This is what needs to be solved. This is what needs to be fixed. This is what needs to be done. And we have to deal with these bastards, these traitors to the country, because that's what Patrick Bet-David is. That's what Vivek Ramaswamy is. That's what these people are. They are traitors to the country. This is the most un-American thing to do, because what they do is that they whitewash the history. What they do is they feed lies to their white audience, to their white base. So if we're saying, hey, let's fix this problem, and you have people like Patrick Bet-David, you have people like Vivek, and you have people like Nimrata, right, Nikki Haley, who changed her name, who are saying there is no problem to be fixed. Everything's good, white people. There's no problem. Now you have the dumb white people who are saying, well, see, there's no problem, okay? Everything's good. Now what do we have? We have a circle. We have a loop. We have a cycle of hatred, of vicious behavior. That is what we have in this country, and that's what we will continue to have with people like this. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not it looks like it's not about race, okay? It's about the country. And, PBD, he's a good man as long as he does, what Americans want him to do.
I'm gonna get out of here. You're getting awfully stupid. I think the whole point tonight is to really allow people to see that white folks are just on some bullshit. They have always been on some bullshit. I'm hoping that, Brother Donald, I can't stand his ass either. Because India is not this glorious place of Buddhism, whatever the fuck they do over there. And
you talking about the caste system?
Yeah, whatever the fuck they doing over there.
In India, he'd be a nigga.
Yeah, I know. But the point I was trying to make is that over there, I think you got like half a billion people, and the video I seen has shown that the Ganges and other water system that they got is so polluted with shit and piss, and they're taking shit out in public. They're shitting in public. How the fuck do you be proud of that? And the stench is so bad. It reminds me of white folks a long time ago. They just get drunk and just deal with the stench.
But at the end of the day, they're all the same people.
Who do you, what do you mean?
White folks, Chinese, Arabs, they're all white people.
Well, you're right.
There's procreatic and eukaryotic melanin. If you don't have procreatic, like us, you got eukaryotic. It's weak, it's deficient, even if you're dark. In other words, how the color scheme should go, they did the opposite.
Yeah, Brother Donner, hold on for a second. Brother Donner said, I wish I could debate Patrick. A matter of fact, I sent him a message a minute ago. You know, not literally a minute ago, but, you know, trying to get on his show and talk about this shit. And hold on, said, Brother Donner said, I wish, oh, me? Oh, okay, yeah, I wish you could debate Patrick. I'm tired of these folks. He says he's Iranian, but what he doesn't say is he is a white man from Iran. You got that right. And then Brother Downer goes on to say a large part of Patrick's show is exploiting black people and culture, our culture. And you got that right. And I don't like Vivek Ramaswamy. He got his ass checked by Ann Coulter. That's another bitch, a white person that I tried to get on her show. She ain't called me back yet. None of these motherfuckers gonna call me back because I'm gonna step dead in that ass. Challenge their belief system of them being white, Caucasian, Aryan, Anglo-Saxon, European, all that. Once you do that, they give up.
You know, Ann Coulter used to go with J.J. Evans, right?
Yeah.
From your hood, right?
Yeah, they did a lot of
Yeah, I'm like, when the first time I heard it, I thought it was a joke. Then I started seeing them in pictures together, like hugged up, like this is my woman. This ain't just some chick I'm hugging for a picture. And her hugging them back the same way. Like, okay, there's something going on there. Even if they just jacking once a week. She ain't
white bitches. They say they don't like niggas, but they be right there sucking on that dick. You know what I mean? I'm just being real on that shit. But Donald says, I think Vivek been bleaching his skin. And the next thing he says, yes, they married, I believe. Or they were married? Or are they still married, Brother Donald? Your Go ahead. I'm
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All I was saying was whether they were married or not, they were together for some time. Because when I found out about it, they were already together for years already. And, you know, and we're still together for some time after. I don't know if they still together. I don't check on stuff like that no more. What the only celebrity gossip I'm trying to figure out is who the top pedo is so we can get rid of all the motherfuckers. You're on mute, big bro.
Yeah, I know that Vivek was darker. And then you got what's that guy's name? Denise D'Souza, something like that. That motherfucker think he white too. You know, all these motherfuckers from India think they white.
You know, Valerie Jarrett, the chick that used to work for the Obamas, you know she's Iranian too, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then where's Nikki Haley from? For real. She's from somewhere else. She's not American. Native American. You know, or white American. Nikki Haley.
Oh, Nikki, yeah.
She's from Armenia or some shit like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's where the Kardashians is from. The same place, Armenia. Yeah.
So hold on, let me see what the next one is. This one is 15 minutes. We just let it run through and try to. We got 2 more after this. Then we'll be done for the night, and then we'll make our comments, and we'll be up until next Saturday. So let's get it on.
And then in the course of time, the nobility, his advisors, also converted to Judaism, and then his people. And by the year 900, this was a Jewish kingdom. This was a Jewish kingdom. This was a Jewish kingdom. Now we come to the others. There was Moshe ibn Ezra. By the way, Ibn means son of, but it's a family name. Moshe ibn Ezra. And then Abraham ibn Ezra, distant cousins. And then Yehuda Halevi, the greatest Hebrew poet since King David. Yehuda Halevi was a physician. He lived in Toledo. He writes a poem which reads as follows: My heart is in the east, and I am in the uttermost west. I cannot enjoy my food, I cannot rest, because the holy city of Jerusalem is in Christian thrall, and I am tied up in Arab chains. He was a highly respected citizen of Toledo. People came to him. He was a great physician. And also, he wrote a book, and his book is a remarkable work. It's called the Kuzari, and it's based on an event that took place, and that is the establishment of an independent Jewish kingdom in Central Asia in the year 750. Have you heard about that? The kingdom of the Khazar Empire. Who were the Khazars? The Khazars were a Turkish tribe, and they, on the warpath, succeeded in establishing control over a very important part of Asia. Their center was on the Volga River, and their empire extended from north of the Black Sea to east of the Caucasus. Why is that important? Because they were on the main path of the trade routes from Asia to Europe. They controlled it, and they were very strong. They established themselves. And they had been one of the Turkish tribes, should we call it nomadic warriors, like the Mongols later on. The king of the Khazars decided, now that he is head of an empire, he should adopt a civilized religion. Now, he adopted Judaism. Now, why? There are stories, of course. One of the stories, the legend is, he invited a Catholic, a Christian priest, who told him about Christianity, and in the course of describing Christianity, said about Jesus and the Old Testament, Judaism, and so on. Then he invited a Muslim, and the Muslim talked about Muhammad and the Quran and the prophets of ancient Israel who preceded. And then he said, you said that Christianity comes out of Judaism. You said Islam comes out of Judaism. Well, I'd like to speak to the Jews. And as the story goes, he invited a Jewish scholar, and he converted to Judaism. That's the story. Now let's look at the reality, the political reality. The political reality is interesting. At that time, in the year 750, had he converted to Christianity, he would have had to submit himself to the authority of the Emperor of Constantinople, who was head of the Christian world. Had he adopted Islam, he would have had to submit to the authority of the Caliph of Baghdad, who was head of the Muslim world. He didn't want a boss. He wanted to be independent. And I suppose he also had contact with Jews and he knew about Judaism. The fact is, he converted to Judaism. And then in the course of time, the nobility, his advisors, also converted to Judaism, and then his people. And by the year 900, this was a Jewish kingdom, you can say a Jewish empire in Central Asia, which, stimulated the imagination of the Jews. Imagine there is an independent Jewish nation someplace in Asia. Well, we live in Spain, and that's over 1,000 miles away. But they were very much intrigued and excited at the prospect. In fact, Hassa ibn Shaprut, who was chief advisor to the Sultan of Cordoba in Spain, wrote a letter to the king of the Khazars. And he got an answer, and these letters are in pure Hebrew. And for a long time, scholars were debating that, this is not true, these letters were invented, it's fiction.
Hold on.
They did receive correspondence from someone who purported to have brought letters from a King Joseph of Khazaria. These letters are absolutely fascinating. They relate the story of the conversion of King Bulan. They talk about the nature of Khazarians, their Judaism, all kinds of fascinating things. But it's widely believed that these letters were forgeries. In other words, the people who provided the letters to the messengers of Hassa ibn Shaprut were essentially engaged in some kind of con. And they have no bearing on the actuality of Khazaria, and they don't have historical value for that purpose. So they're fascinating, and they're really engaging, but are they real? Are they authentic? Are they actually letters from King Joseph? Probably not.
As far as the alleged conversion of the Khazars, you can read in Yehuda Halevi's book, The Khazari, that it may be true that as there is debate and discussion there in Turkic people a little over 1,000 years ago, that some of the leaders or some of the people did, in fact, convert to Judaism. Some of the leaders or some of the people did, in fact, convert to Judaism.
Some of the leaders or some of the people did, in fact, convert to Judaism.
As far as the alleged conversion of the Khazars, you can read in Yehuda Halevi's book, The Khazari, that it may be true that as there is debate and discussion there in Turkic people a little over 1,000 years ago, that some of the leaders or some of the people did, in fact, convert to Judaism and then became part of the larger Jewish people. Khazars as a whole disappear from history. That's it. End of subject. There is no Khazarian mafia. There's not a single Jew on the planet that can be traced back and made a definitive way to the Khazars. Zero. Absolutely zero. Some of them may have willfully converted to Judaism, maybe mainly the leaders. So where the name Ashkenazi came from? So a little over 1,000 years ago, as Jewish people scattered around the world had now emigrated in Europe and now were living in the Rhineland in Germany, they looked at the name Gomer in Genesis 10, and they connected Gomer with Germany, so they took on the identity of the name Ashkenaz. It has nothing to do with Ashkenaz in the Bible, which is a descendant of Yafet. It's just a name that was taken. Okay? It's that simple. Just like my last name Brown doesn't refer to the color of my skin. Just like my last name Brown doesn't refer to the color of my skin.
Just like my last name Brown doesn't refer to the color of my skin.
Michael Brown, I am Caucasian. Just like my last name Brown doesn't refer to the color of my skin or anything else. It was shortened from a Russian name when my grandfather came over at Ellis Island. The name got shortened to. It's just a name. That's all it is. So the idea that Ashkenazi Jews are descended from Yafet is a myth, 100% false, zero truth to it. Just study the history. And Michael Brown, I am Caucasian, even though my last name is Brown. Michael Brown, I am Caucasian, even though my last name is Brown. Michael Brown, I am Caucasian.
I am Caucasian.
I am Caucasian.
And you know, for a long time, scholars were debating that, oh, this is not true, these letters were invented, it's fiction. Until they discovered letters a few years ago from the Cairo Geniza. Familiar with the Cairo Geniza? I'll tell you about that. But these letters are in Hebrew, and they were written by Khazarian merchants in Kiev, which later became the Christian capital of Russia. And these Khazarian Jews in Kiev were corresponding with their counterparts in Khazaria, and the letters are in pure Hebrew, and they're Jewish. In other words, you can tell from the language and the expressions that they are traditional Jews, because there was a theory that they were sectarian Jews, that they were Karaite Jews. In any event, this was a Jewish kingdom, and the letters between Hasdai ibn Shaprut, who was the minister of the Caliph of Cordoba, and King Joseph II of Khazaria. It's an interesting correspondence in Hebrew. Also, there was a book written, a true historical analysis of the whole history, and it seems that the records indicate that. I'm saying that because the Christians never mentioned that. Why didn't the Christians talk about that? It was very important. Because in Christian theology, there cannot be a Jewish kingdom. It goes against the church fathers. The church father says there will never be a Jewish authority and Jewish kingdom. So the Christians didn't talk about it. But between the Arab historians and the Jewish correspondence and the Turkish and Greek indications, it's clear that there was such. By the way, as I said, their center was on the Volga River, which empties into the Caspian Sea, and they also controlled the eastern slopes of the Caucasus Mountains. Now, in 1000, the eastern Slavic kingdoms had been converted to Christianity. And so the prince of Kiev, who was a Christian, combined with the emperor of Constantinople, and they attacked the Jewish kingdom of Khazaria. And the Khazarian kingdom came to an end as an empire, but there were still Khazarian Jews living there. An interesting thing is that I met Jews from that group in Israel. One of them married my wife's cousin. So we were at the wedding. It's very nice. They got married. So I was speaking to her husband. By the way, he looked like a warrior in Genghis Khan's army. And I asked him, what language did you speak? So he said, Tat. I said, Tat, what is it? That's the language we spoke. So I said, where did you count from 1 to 10 in Tat? So he counted from 1 to 10. I said, okay, it's Persian. It's a Persian dialect. Then he tells me, you know, we are all descendants of converts. All of us. I said, really? What makes you say that? He said, well, it's a tradition. And the fact is that among us, there are no Kohanim and no Leviim. Kohanim and Leviim are descendants from Aaron. Every Kohen is a direct descendant from Aaron. And Leviim are descendants of the tribe of Levi. But Jews who convert to Judaism, or non-Jews who convert to Judaism, are Israelites. They can't be Kohanim or Leviim. And this whole group of Jews from that event are all Israelites, but they're not Kohanim and Leviim. But what did Yehuda HaLevi write? Yehuda HaLevi wrote this book, the Kuzari, because he knew the story of the king of the Chazars converting to Judaism. But he didn't go into the details. He just wrote a dialogue, a Platonic dialogue, between the Jewish scholar and the king of the Chazars. And that's the meaning of the book. That's the whole purpose of the book, the Kuzari. It's Yehuda HaLevi's philosophy of Judaism. It's a beautifully written book, and it is the first great Zionist document written, namely a Jew living in exile and speaking about the hope of the Jews to rebuild the land of Israel and the hope of the Jews to live as independent, free, independent people in the land of Israel. He explains all of this in the course of the dialogue, and of course explains the beauty of Judaism and the greatness of Judaism and so on. Yehuda HaLevi also was you could say, dedicated Zionist, because with all of his success, and he was a physician who had a good reputation, he still felt He doesn't want to continue living in a Christian country because Toledo had become Christian by this time. And Yehuda Halevi set out to go to the land of Israel. He actually went. It is reported that he landed in several North African cities, in the Kairouan and in Egypt. And that's the end. We don't know after that what happened. Of course, there are legends about what happened, but we don't know what happened. He disappears. He was about 75 years old at the time. And the journey was not easy, especially going from one hostile environment to another. And the environment in the land of Israel was very hostile because the Crusaders were still on the march against the infidels, and Jews are just as infidel as Muslims.
What's your thoughts? Please be respectful with your comments. Also, please click the like, click the notification bell to
Why they want people to be respectful of in the comments? You can take it, brother. You're on mute.
Brother Donald said he's going to be sending us some information on UFOs the next time. We'll get into that. Thank you, Brother Donald. Is there anything you want to say, Brother Lion? Okay.
I broke down that history. I've been knowing that history for a little while. I don't have no comments. It's pretty accurate.
Okay. So the next video, this is what I'm talking about. White people know us, but we don't know ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? They know our history. They know who we are. And you're going to see a lady, a little plump, with glasses on her head. Pay attention to what she's saying. This is just perfect for what this show is all about. So with that one, and we got almost a 20-minute one, and then we'll be done for the night. I don't think we're going to be going for too much longer. And we'll be right back.
You know, my mama taught me how to cook. I've never met a black man who didn't smell like absolute heaven. It always smelled like Gucci, wrapped in Prada, walking next to Louis Vuitton. You know, my mama taught me how to cook, but a black person taught me how to season.
Oh, so fabulous. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebilia. If it's your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back. So how are we all doing today? You guys see that I'm smiling? That's because today's video is a little bit light-hearted, because I think we need some of these light-hearted videos from time to time. Like, we need to take a break from the hardcore topics, right? So today's video is something that kind of made me laugh a bit, kind of chuckle a bit. And it was this video on TikTok of this man asking white people, like, so tell me what you like about black people. Let me play the video right now.
White people, tell me something positive about black people.
Okay, so he made that video and you can see that he's so serious, like, yo, tell me tell me what you like about black people. So of course there were a lot of responses. Let me just play the responses right now.
Tell me something positive about black people.
Don't even get me started on this. Anything that has to do with soul comes from black people. We got soul music, soul food, and don't even get me started on the women. They'll take you to church, then they'll bring you home, show you what demon time really is, and snatch your soul.
Tell me something positive about black people.
You know, I'm glad you asked. And I have a single word answer. Cologne. I've never met a black man who didn't smell like absolute heaven. It always smelled like Gucci, wrapped in Prada, walking next to Louis Vuitton or something. If you could tell us where you get your cologne, that would be awesome, because I can never find cologne for my husband that smells anywhere near as good as a black man. Never smell like Axe body spray, and for that we're extremely grateful. Plus that ass be popping, you know.
Tell me something positive about.
I'm Native American and also white, but I believe the most beautiful thing about black people is you are the best of us white people because you're the part of us that is where good comes from. Because all I know is from white history is that white Catholic Europeans, no matter where they went, no matter what country, no matter where on this earth that they went, they left a trail of blood. Everywhere. They destroyed people's cultures. Everywhere. So I believe that black people are our future. And people need to realize that. People of color, period, are our future. And you are the best of all of us. Not just white people, but the best of all of us. Because you are where we started. And you are where we will end. So thank you. Because without you, none of us would be here.
Without you.
That's the most positive thing I can think of. And it comes from the heart. And I don't mean any type of disrespect. Because white people, the ones you know that are looking at me right now, knowing the hate that I see already, you know it's true. And that's why you fight so hard to keep your white supremacy. Because you know that everything great about the world came from them. Everything.
Everything in the world.
Tell me something positive about black people.
Your guys' food is absolutely amazing. Your brotherhood is amazing. You always got someone's back if they're in trouble. You guys got style too. Clothes, cars, music. Funniest mother on the planet, hands down. I could be walking down the street, and if y'all were having a cookout in your front yard, be like, "Hey, you want some food?" You guys also, for the most part, don't carry any hate in your heart. I grew up in one of the whitest towns in America, Prescott, Arizona. I tell you, there are more evil motherfuckers there than I've ever seen in my entire life. None of them were black. I've also found that you guys are really good at creating solutions to any problem. Like without hesitation. Boom. Alright, well, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do that, and boom, solved. It takes me 2 days to do fucking a load of laundry. What's positive about white people?
Freedom is more important than money. In fact, the reason I became an online entrepreneur was not for money.
Tell me something positive about black people.
Musical genius. Musical innovator. Musical genius that actually surpasses that of Beethoven and Mozart.
They were black too.
Voice of an angel. Funkiest man ever. Completely changed the course of music in the 20th century. I could go on, but I think you get the point. I am forever grateful for the gifts that they gave us, and their influence has completely shaped my life.
Tell me something positive.
Hey, when I was younger, before the Alaska Times, I lived in Sacramento for a little bit while I was poor and making no money. I lived in what would be considered not a great neighborhood and was really one of the only white individuals in my neighborhood. I had these two black women, one that lived next door to me, one that lived upstairs from me, and these two women not only made sure that I was welcome to the neighborhood, made sure that I felt safe, made sure that I knew if I ever felt like I was in trouble, that all I needed to do was knock on either of their doors and that they would take care of me. The kindness and compassion for community and the nurturing that those two women showed will stick with me forever. Not all superheroes wear capes.
Tell me something positive about black.
Everything. I'm positive you guys have better personalities than most white folks. You guys are more loving and caring than most white folks. Y'all cook better. You know, my mama taught me how to cook, but a black person taught me how to season. Y'all dance better. Y'all are more fun at parties, more outgoing, more friendly. If I go up to 10 different black people and I say good morning, I'm going to get a good morning back, maybe even a couple conversations. If I do that to white folks, 8 of them people are going to ignore me and keep walking. You guys definitely praise and worship better. I would know because I left my church of over 30 years to go to a black church because you haven't been to a Church of Christ until you've been to a black church. Everything. Just everything in general. I love me some black folks. That's why I gravitate toward them.
About black people.
Their churches, their barbecue, cooking in general, actually. Their personalities. Like, I feel so accomplished when, you know, somebody daps me up versus when somebody just shakes my hand. There's just so much. Like, have you seen these motherfuckers dance? Like, how is that even possible?
People. Tell me something positive.
Brother man, let me tell you. Having been to war 3 times, having fought in Desert Storm, Desert Shield, I've figured out that when you're standing in a fighting hall, it doesn't matter what color the guy next to you is, as long as he's pulling the trigger. And as a veteran, I have served with so many young black men who fought ferociously for the man beside them. So you want something positive? Your black warriors can be the most fierce warriors on the planet. Love you guys, and I've always said we're all green. It doesn't matter what's on the outside. We got to look at what's on the inside.
Something positive about black.
Now, I don't know if this is true in everywhere, but down here in the South, black people are the best fucking people you will ever run into. Anytime I've ever needed help, I've gotten help quicker from black folks than I have white folks. Hell, I ran out of gas one time, got pulled into a gas station. I'm trying to figure out what to do, and this dude pulls up, him and his friend, and they're like, "Y'all run out of gas?" I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "All right, we'll hop in. We'll go get you some gas." So I hopped in his car. They took me to Dollar General so I could buy a cheaper gas can instead of one at a gas station. They took me to the gas station, let me pump some gas, and brought me back. Black folks are the nicest people you'll ever meet. And it's a shame everybody's scared of y'all.
Something positive about black people.
Your churches look way more exciting than our churches, and I'd really like to go someday.
So around 91 or 92, my daddy got out of the Navy. He had breathing problems, and he went on veterans disability, and he had trouble getting it to begin with. We moved in apartment projects in Atlanta, Georgia for about 5 or 6 years till he got on his feet, and we were the minority in the neighborhood. There was like 32 apartments. I think we were 1 or 2 white families out there. Never once did we not ever once get looked down. We were always included in everything. I have grandmothers that are black. I have aunties that are black. My godmother, my mother's best friend, God rest her soul, she's a black lady. My sister, Yolanda, she's not my sister, obviously, but also she's a black girl. So we were accepted by everybody. Ain't nobody judge us for being white or none of that. And I would go on, but I'm obviously emotional because that meant a lot to me.
Oh yeah, I think I was kind of expecting some of the things that were said. I was expecting them to talk about the food because black people everywhere. Then I'm not just talking about African Americans. I'm talking of black people everywhere. The entire black diaspora can cook. Talk about seasoning. Black delicacies. Black people can cook. Black people know how to season food. Our taste buds are like top notch. I'm not even joking right now. So I knew they were going to talk about the food. I knew they were going to talk about our music and our rhythm because black people got rhythm and all of that. Anyways, yeah. So you guys let me know which of the things did the white people say that had you surprised or something that you saw coming, like you knew they were definitely going to say that they admired us about black people. What do you guys think about this video? I think it was fun to hear what they had to say. You guys let me know your comments and your thoughts in the comment section. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like my kind of content, and I will see you guys.
All right. Brother Donald sent me a couple of videos. I want to try to get to them. But first, hold on. Okay. But first, I want to go and read what I'm sorry. I want to go and read what I had sent to Brother Maurice, and it's an Aesop fable, and it's called The Donkey and the Tiger. The donkey told the tiger, "The grass is blue." The tiger replied, "No, the grass is green." The discussion became heated, and the two decided to submit the issue to arbitration. So they approached the lion. As they approached the lion on his throne, the donkey started to scream, Your Highness, Your Highness, Your Highness, isn't it true that the grass is blue?" The lion replied, "If you believe it is true, the grass is blue." The donkey rushed forward and continued, "The donkey disagrees with me, contradicts me, and annoys me. Please punish him." The king then declared, "The tiger will be punished for 3 days of silence." The donkey jumped with joy and went on his way, content and repeating, "The grass is blue, the grass is blue, the grass is blue." The tiger asked the lion, "Your Majesty, why have you punished me after all? The grass is green." The lion replied, "You've known and seen the grass is green." The tiger asked, "So why do you punish me?" The lion replied, "That has nothing to do with the question of whether the grass is blue or green. The punishment is because it is degrading for black people." And this is you are the lion. "The punishment is because it is degrading for a brave, intelligent creature like you to waste time arguing with an ass, white folk, and on top of that, you came and bothered me with the question to just to validate something you already knew was true. You know you're the greatest people on the face of the planet. Why are you acting and why are you going along with what white folk talking about? Niggas ain't shit. Niggas ain't shit. Niggas ain't shit. The biggest waste of time is arguing with the fool and fanatic who doesn't care about discussions that make sense. That makes no sense. There are people who, for all the evidence presented to them, do not have the ability to understand. Others who are blinded by ego, hatred, or resentment, and the only thing that they want is to be right, even if they aren't. When ignorance screams, intelligence moves on. Now, hold on. And this is from a white guy talking about white superiority, supremacy. It's a good one. So I'm going to, hold on, make sure I get this right. Okay, so this is written back in 2019. So he says, in my view, let me see, hold on. Let me make sure I get this. Okay. So it says, in my view, the majority of white Americans are white nationalists. They are lovers of the genre white in all its forms. Many of them spend their days isolating themselves with all things white. Their lifestyle is based around the art of avoiding diversity and denying the realities of racial injustice that our culture's white supremacist ideologies are perpetrating. Some of them fight for the rich, the military, the Southern heritage, and Jesus, while others can be found fighting for women's rights, LGBT rights, animal rights, the environment, and the economic justice. But hardly any of them can be found fighting for racial justice. They are happy to be dismissive and apathetic to all people of color while celebrating their color blindness. Their notions of brown and black folks are based solely on racist stereotypes. They claim to love the earth and humanity while silently watching their brown and black brothers and sisters die and suffer because of their own culture of white supremacy. Truth is, these folks are not just white nationalists. They are die-hard racists, and they are white supremacy's greatest life support. They are the essence of white supremacy. They are not free. They are miserable people living a great hypocritical lie. They cannot be trusted because they are a walking, breathing, morally dead population. It's 2019. When this was done, it says 2019. I want to put it in 2024. It's 2025 or 25 now. It's 2025, and it's still a tragic state of affairs racially with white America. As they say, the more things change, the more they stay the fucking same. So let me go on back here. Okay. Oh, wow, I'm not going to be able to do all of these, but Donald. But the first one, the Return of the Black God. The second one, a brightly shiny flame. Once again, the NOI answered what government officials and leaders cannot. The Anunnaki were black, not aliens, and the alien hoax. The human history. And the last one, the Black Air Force, UFOs, and the Nation of Islam. So with all of those, these can be found. I'm going to put them here, and you guys can just stop the tape when you watch it again, and then you can go back and look at the. But I like Brother Wesley Muhammad. He's very precise in what he says. So I'm going to see how long this is.
Solo necesitas el nombre y la visión de tu proyecto para dar el primer paso.
Peace, family, peace.
No,
We
it's
are
an hour and
finally
39 minutes.
live. Woo, it's going to be a great show today, y'all. It's going to be a great show. I see y'all in the chat. Y'all in the chat. Heavy shout out to everybody in the chat. I know y'all are excited about tonight's show. I think this is the first time I had this gentleman on live. I've done an interview with him where I went to the mosque, but this is our first live. I'm about to introduce him in a second. But before I do, as usual, family, let's get to a quick commercial, and we'll be back in about 60 seconds, all right? On Saturday,
Yeah, that's a long one, Donna. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put all these videos in the chat so people can see it, and they can just copy and paste it. But good ups on you. I really appreciate that. Hold on. Copy. All right. Another one. Hold on. So I'm just going to paste these into the comments, and people can go back and watch them. Good information, bro. Good information. 1, 2. I appreciate that, Brother Donald. Okay, and the last one. Oh, you made some more. Let's see. Okay. So, yeah, I appreciate that, Brother Donald. I'm going to definitely watch Brother Wesley. And then we'll be on our way with that. So, do you have any comments, Brother Elijah, before we wrap it up and see this last one? Okay. So let's go on to the next one. And this is how white folks are. They're truly nasty and dirty. they are not going to change. So let's get it on.
Fabulous. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumevilia. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I still hope you decide to subscribe. And if you are a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back. So I hope you guys are doing okay. Today's video is this clip that has been kind of circulating, and I don't know if it was a talk show or an interview. I don't know what it was, but obviously it was something that was being filmed, and then this calm colored people had something to say. Let me roll the clip. Then yet?
No, I'm not going to do it.
Well, you're just anti
I'm not
leg
black.
washes.
I'm not going to go wash my legs and feet.
You think that's just a black people thing?
Clearly.
Well, and he's
the only one here who took the day off. Washes his legs and feet. No, I don't think it's a black thing. I think using washcloth is for poor people, but I don't think that washing your legs and feet is for black people.
I agree. I think the washcloth is a poor person thing. Because
I've only met poors who use them. I've never met.
Wait, but is it also European? Because I have European friends that do it as well.
Maybe they're poor. I don't know.
I don't know. But we never did in my house. There was no time for that.
No. I've ended friendships when I saw washcloths. I'm serious. I don't want that stink on me, that like poor stink.
Yeah. But I don't understand. I guess it is just so that you don't have to touch your hands to your genitals. Yeah,
we don't have that much soap to go around.
Is that the utility? Or is the utility like, I don't have to touch my bare butt or my bare genitals?
I don't know.
I think it's more of a puritanically rooted thing of like, I don't want to touch my bits. So you guys, when I watched that video, my jaw dropped because I never knew that things about personal hygiene and cleanliness could be associated to a specific kind of race or a specific kind of social class. Like it had something to do with if you were rich or poor. I was surprised. Let me play some of the reactions and stitches to that video. I agree. I think the washcloth is a poor person thing. This message is directed towards white people who bathe properly. Get your cousins. Go get them. Because enough already. Because some of y'all's family got this like obsession with coming on here and telling us that not only do they not bathe regularly, when they do, they don't bathe properly. How the hell are washcloths only for poor people if at this point most places are selling the washcloth, the hand towel, and the body towel separately? Because it sounds like to me I have to have the money to be able to buy the extra thing. Purely on comparison on the lower end of the spectrum, the pack of washcloths that I bought from TJ Maxx cost more than the soap that I bought at TJ Maxx. Also, the pores had a hard R at the end. So we know what you were saying. I be looking at these people like your ancestors colonized the whole goddamn world. And for some reason, y'all seem to draw the line of cultural appropriation at seasoning and bathing properly. Every goddamn culture y'all ran through and stole from taught y'all how to bathe and clean shit properly. And yet, y'all said, nah, we don't want to bathe properly, but why can't we have box springs? We gonna bake called challah cloud bread and 2-ingredient lentil pancakes and whatever weird flat taco shit that y'all tried to colonize the other day and call like agua fresas fucking spa water. That's what y'all chose to do? Not soap water and a washcloth? Like, please take that from us. We won't even be mad. We won't be mad. Just stop getting on the internet every other day and telling us that you nasty and you dirty and you stink. Washcloth is a poor person thing.
This is why when y'all be dating these people, y'all be fornicating with these people, y'all be procreating with these people, just, oh my God, like, just rich and dirty. And you know they kissing their dog in the mouth. You just know they kissing their dog. Not knocking anybody. Love who you want to love. Love who you want to love.
Yeah, I say, but still, no, I don't think it's a black thing. I think using washcloth is for poor people.
Yeah, and this is why a lot of y'all smell like mildew and wet dogs. Y'all smell like old mayonnaise, expired mustard, failed dreams, a bunch of bullshit. Y'all smell like wet hair half of the time. Let me break something down to you. When you in the shower, wash your legs and feet because all the dirt and shit from up here is going down and hitting your legs, and it's just gonna sit there. Wash your damn legs. A washcloth is the reason why y'all don't get it. That's the whole point. Y'all trying to myself, well, washcloths are just a poor thing, and I'm not black. Like, I don't got a cliche of black either. Like, why is your podcast called I'm Not Black? What the you talking about black issues for? You're not black. Why are you near them? Black issues should be treated like a lake of fire to y'all. You don't want to be around it? Leave it the fuck alone. You can't do nothing about it. You don't understand it? Leave it be. But no, here y'all come again, admitting shit nobody asked you to. We get it. You don't know how to properly wash your ass. It's cool. Y'all didn't know how to do that until y'all met us. Let's just start there. This is why y'all had the Black Plague and all that rat shit and bullshit. Remember when y'all used to shit in y'all drinking water? You remember that? The literal place where y'all got y'all drinking water. Y'all remember when rats infested y'all country? You remember that? Remember when there was literally a plague happening because y'all motherfuckers were so nasty? No. Y'all want to erase that part from history, right? Because y'all don't remember that. Remember when y'all met black people and they was like, and they had to teach y'all how to bathe? You realize y'all wiped out most of the armies y'all fought, not because y'all had superior tactics, not because y'all had superior weapons. That was a percentage of it. But the other percentage was because y'all exposed people to diseases, germs, and viruses that they had never fucking encountered because they could take a fucking bath. Their solution to everything wasn't, let's cut off a body part and then just leave them bleeding everywhere and infected. Do y'all not get this shit like at all? Wash your ass. It ain't that hard. Wash your legs, wash your feet, wash your ass, wash under, wash every fucking thing. Wash behind your ears, your face, your hair, your neck, under your arm. It's not a poor black thing. It's hygiene. Good hygiene at that. But y'all are still trying to make this nasty shit cool. It's not gonna work. We never gonna stop. Call me poor and black, but I bet I'm gonna smell better than you.
Washcloth is a poor person thing.
Anytime someone stays in my home, I offer them a washcloth. And when they don't use it, I'm always like a little bit confused because I use washcloth and I know it's about like the friction that you create with the soap and water that allows you to get clean. Now here's my question. Just check the scenario. I invite you over to my house for dinner. When you get here, I'm doing dishes. I pick up a dirty plate, I run it under water, and I put soap in my hand and then rub my hand on that plate. After rubbing the soap on the plate, I run it under water and then I put it into the rack to dry. Now, when I went to serve you your dinner, I served you on that plate. Is that plate clean? Would you say that that plate is clean? That plate ain't even got your balls on it, bro. The plate never even had a little doodle on it, but your butt did. And you're just gonna use your hand with some soap? You're not actually gonna use a medium to scrub that shit? It's not about being poor, babe. It's about being clean.
I don't want to touch my bits.
This was actually funny. Let's go. I can't tell you how much I enjoy the fact that the palm-colored people always give us content and a way to just show how educated we are and how disgusting they are. So, washcloths are for poor people. And and he doesn't take baths and he doesn't wash his legs. I always find it funny how they try to come for black people while simultaneously admitting how fucking disgusting they are. But let's take a trip back in history. Native Americans used to follow Europeans around with incense because they thought they were foul-smelling demons. That is fact. You can look it up. In ancient England, they would only wash their asses twice a year. They walked around with nosegays in their lapel because everybody smelled bad, so they would continuously smell the flowers. Also, they washed their clothes in pee and lye. They thought that the acid and pee would clean their clothes when all it did was make them smell like mop water and barnyard animals. That's what I find
hilarious. But if we're going to talk about cleanliness, the ancient Egyptians introduced modern plumbing because, of course, in England and the UK, you know what they used to do? They had pots, like, bed pans and shit, and they would pee and poop in them, and when they threw it out the window, they would say, "Garde-lou!" That was to let anybody who was around there know somebody's about to throw some piss and shit out the window. So, being poor, only poor people wash with washcloths. No, actually, it's a cultural thing. Most African Americans use washcloths. I don't care how much money they have or don't have. African Americans use washcloths, and it's not because there's not enough soap to go around. It's because that's how we get in every crack and crevice from top to bottom. You have 2 washcloths, one for your body, one for your feet. Well, 3 actually. One for your body, one for your feet, one for your face. We make it our business to wash everything in a very clean manner. That's why most of our skin is flawless, because we don't all use the same washcloth for our feet and our ass on our face. I love how they come up here and let us know through their rape how disgusting they are. Poor people only use washcloths. Didn't we just hear Mila Kunis say she don't wash her ass for like 3 days? Didn't we see a Caucasian woman say that after she goes to the bathroom, she does not wash her hands unless somebody's in the bathroom and they're looking at her funny, and then she still does not wash them properly? Y'all stay coming for black people while letting us know your true nature. You do realize that my ancestors taught your ancestors how to bathe.
Person thing. Because
I've only met poors who use them. I've never met.
And I also have only ever met people who don't use washcloths that are white. So are we coding for people of color? Like, let's think on that. Also, one time I was taking a shower as a high school at a friend's house, and like their parent or something looked at me like I had 3 heads when I asked where the washcloths are. And I was given a glove that is used for washing dishes. Like, I have this. What the fuck? Like, yeah, there are sanitary things you have to take into consideration when you use a washcloth. Like, you probably shouldn't use the washcloth you use down there for, like, your face. But it's like, you wash a washcloth after every single time you use it. If you choose not to use a washcloth, that is a personal choice. I personally think it's sanitary, exfoliates, and just gets everywhere it needs to, and does a thorough washing. But to be disgusted by people who use washcloths, like, you're literally just admitting you use water on your PTA thing. Because
every 5 to 10 business days, someone from that group gets on Beyonce's internet and tells us they do not bathe. In some way, shape, or form. They don't wash their legs, they let the water run down, they don't use washcloths. There are so many different options that I don't understand. There are various washcloths, there's Africanet, there's loofah. There's so many different tools you can use to wash your body with. And they actively choose to not do this. Like, please keep a list of all the people who actively say they don't bathe, because when the world finally does end and we head into this very decrepit apocalypse, you know exactly who to get rid of first, because they're the ones who are going to be spreading disease and famine throughout the entire encampment, if you are one of the people who decides they want to survive.
I agree. I think the washcloth is a poor person thing.
No, baby, that's a clean person thing. No pueden ser tan cochinos, eh? That's nasty. You know, did you know that when the colonizers came over, they came over disease-ridden and real nasty, and the Aztec people and other indigenous groups had to, like, teach them how to bathe? I know it's not related, but, you know.
I think using washcloth is for poor people, but I don't think that washing your legs and feet is for black people.
Ugh. Please take the podcast mics away from these mother. And for you to sit here and say that washing legs and feet are not for black people, bitch, we wash our whole fucking body. Exfoliate our whole body. Like, that's why the skin's so soft, body so tight, the smells is right. Y'all, when y'all be walking past, the girls that believe in not washing your feet and washing your ass and wash your legs, honey, it's you, bitch. They be smelling like reptile ecosystems. You seen this fat ass nose of mine? I be smelling that shit. And y'all smell like shit.
I've actually heard a lot of things concerning the palm colored folks, when it has to do with hygiene and cleanliness and stuff like that. But I didn't really used to believe it. I've heard from a lot of my friends and relatives that work with expatriates here in Nigeria about how those people have a certain kind of level of hygiene that is very different from ours. And I don't know. I didn't really believe it because I'm not that kind of person that is quick to believe the worst about someone. And they will tell me things like it's because their country is cold, so it's not easy to bath regularly and do some of these things because of the weather and stuff like that. And maybe when it's winter, they don't shower as often and stuff like that. But I used to believe maybe these are things that were in the past, right? Maybe like historically, but now times have changed and people probably are doing better in that aspect. But for that man to come out and make that video, I don't think things have really changed. I don't think things have really changed. And for me, as a black person, cleanliness and self-hygiene is one of the things we are taught right from when you're so little. You're taught it at home by your family, you're taught it in school by your teachers, you're taught it even in church. They'll tell you cleanliness is next to godliness. For that man to have said that, you guys, I was shocked. And I had to go and check what a washcloth is because over here, I think it's a little different for us. We use something we call the sponge, which we scrub our body, and then we use our towels to dry off. I'll just put pictures on the screen. So this actually makes me wonder if they don't use a washcloth, so what do they really use? Please, someone should let me know in the comment section. What do they use? At first he said it's a black people thing, and then later he said it's not a black people thing, that it's a poor people thing. So I don't know if I'm being extra sensitive here, but I think he's trying to say black and poor are synonymous. I don't know. I'm not going to get offended by that, but I think he didn't want to dwell on saying it's a black people thing so that people don't come out and start calling him a racist. I don't know. That's just the vibe that I got. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section. This whole hygiene thing is like the least thing I thought would have been talking about. But yes, here we are talking about this. Like, I can't even imagine when you don't bathe properly the outcome of all of that. Okay, you guys, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, turn on notifications, that way YouTube will let you guys know whenever I have a new video up, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
All right. Well, Brother Muhammad, you better start studying, man, because you're going to go down in a football match between me and you, sir. All right, so, I'm sorry. You got anything you want to add, bro?
No, actually, I thought it's funny that you played that toward the end because I said most of that in the beginning. I didn't, of course, not exactly the same, but the point has been made, man. For a long time, this is what white folk are doing. Okay, it's hard for us to believe because they are looked upon as the smartest, the best, the richest, the blah blah blah, whatever you want to say about them, right? But while you may think that they're very intelligent people and so or what have you, they're basically reverting back to primacy or to being primates. And we think because they can talk and they shave, and they wear nice suits and all this and that they're evolving on a technological level and nothing more. He's still the same beast that he's always been. You get it from here, brother. That picture is very riveting. You're on mute.
Yeah, this is the first book that I wrote that deals with why white people hate black people so much, and it's a psychological one as well as a physical one because we use these people as target practice when we put them in Central Asia, and as you know, the Persian, the Turks, the Mongols, they were all black people, and we just handled our business with them. Well, we didn't give a fuck about them, you know what I mean? Because they were nasty and dirty. White people, nothing but Dravidian albino, bleached out people who made it with normal black people, who got these octoroon people, what we call white today. And this is what I'm talking about, man. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me go back. And this is the second book dealing with white supremacy and understanding white supremacy, book 2 of the series, The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit. And this is what I'm talking about. This is not hard science. This is psychology 101. Stop paying attention to these motherfuckers. They're lying, they're scheming, they're conniving, they're trying to make you look to be more less than what you really are. You are your ancestors. We are our ancestors. And Sister Ma, I thank you for pointing that out. That was the thumbnail that I used for my book. But we got to stop giving these animals, these beasts that we civilized 3 times, air to air respectability. They don't have and deserve any respect from us. They have not earned no respect. They've earned disrespect at every fucking turn. At every fucking turn. And I mean that shit. I do not give a fuck about white folk. Period. I don't give a fuck how good or nice they may be. They're not getting rid of the bad ones. So all these motherfuckers are in it together. So, with that being said, hold on, let me see. I want to make sure I do this right. SS meaning wave or normal. Can't that. I don't know who that is, but okay. But let me go on back into. I want to make sure I cover everything. But here we have the white folks. How they really were and still are. Hairy than a motherfucker. There were no goddamn rats. These were the rats. Can you imagine these motherfucking pissing and shit and never wiping their ass with all our hair? This is them. This is not something I created or grown. This is all in European museum in the tapestry. Here you have the black king and queen in our castles, and here you have these fucking animals trying to attack them. And here you have the guard, the sentinels, attacking these animals with claws for feet. Did you know many of the blonde and red-headed Vikings were black-skinned Africans who conquered and ruled Scandinavia? They resemble the blonde and red-headed black aborigines of Melanesia. Red and blonde hair is also found among some unmixed Africans. There remain many kinky-headed, red-headed people living in Ireland and Scotland. And here are these animals.
That's a fact because I don't know if you've ever heard this before. You know, being from Chicago, maybe you have. The Irish are the only black people. Excuse me, the Irish are the only white people who bump up under their mustache and beard when they get haircuts like us. I'm sure you've heard that before. They're the only people that happens to outside of black people. You know, we are. I recounted the some of the history of the Irish through the Twa, who were represented as leprechauns. Saint Patrick became a patron saint of Ireland when he killed all those Twa people, and then they said it was snakes. There are no snakes native to Ireland. That is a fact. It's too hot. It's too up north for them to have any places for snakes to be able to rest, and at night especially.
Right. Well, you're right about that. Let me read this last one. This is our ancestors telling you on the mules walls of Egypt that they've been warring with these people since the beginning. They only been around for 3,000 years. And I'm going to give them another 1,000 years, 4,000 years. Our ancestors have been warring with these devils forever. It's an ongoing war, and they know this. This is the slaying or slaying. It should be slaying, not slaying. Maybe it is slaying of the Hyksos, aka invaders of the land of Kemet. This is actual history in stone and in their books they keep from us. Research Hyksos. You will see who they are.
You know who's one? Netanyahu.
Of course. White, Greek, European, Asian, Arab during the 22 dynasty, Upper and Lower Kemet, Egypt. Now you should understand why whites kill us today. They're not killing us for that. They're doing what we did to them. And believe me or not. And we didn't kill enough of them. And now look at what happened. You know what I mean? If you kill your enemy, you will never have to worry about your friends. And we got to kill these motherfuckers politically, economically, spiritually, and physically. And I pray this time around there will be none left. If there are any, there might be 100 to 200, but no more than that. Because if you don't kill them, they're going to come back, and there'll be a price to pay again. So, with that, bro, we're going to wrap it up. Is there anything that you want to say, like the last?
Everybody just need to stay cool. Allow these solar flares to continue to come and absorb the light codes from those flares. A big ascension symptom is if you just get so sleepy at certain times, especially in the daytime. Like, I mean, it's especially in the tropics, it's a usual thing to get sleepy midday when the sun is at its hottest after you had your big meal. You take a nap. Siesta is what they used to call it. I don't know if they celebrate that in Dominican Republic, but in most tropical countries, they still use it because that's the hottest time of the day. Everybody relaxes, go home, take a break for a little while, and then, refresh yourself and get back to work, and you just finish out the day. So, with that said, know that the solar activity is affecting you one way or another, especially if you're chosen or if you're obedient to the spirit world. Not much more. I mean, we're in the new year now, or supposedly in the new year, and we need to just look forward to their system crumbling, and for us to continue, for those of us who are doing the right work, to continue to ascend. So with that, I'm not going to take too much time. I know you're getting kind of tired, my brother. If you want to know where I'm at, you can reach me at melanininstitute.blogspot.com. My name is Basil Medina on Facebook. If you want to get at me, you can inbox me, and we got a lot of things going on, especially in the new year. And I wish everybody out there Happy New Year, and that is prosperous. Stay sucker free, drink water, mind your business, hug your mama, and we'll see you next week right here. Peace.
All right. And I would like to thank Sister Maud, Brother Donald, Brother Willie Rivers. I really got the WR correct now. And please share. Let people know about the show. That we're always trying to make sure that we put our people in the best of light because we deserve that. Our ancestors did a hell of a job in creating every civilization on the planet. We must pick up that torch and keep it moving. I don't give a fuck if we go 1 inch. That's moved 1 inch. So we have the duty and the right and the privilege to honor our ancestors, because when you do that, all the blessings that they have stored up for us will come raining down on us. And it is our time now, as it has never been before. It is our time now to take control, to take the will, to take uh, uh, possession of our crown, of our title, of our name. But these dirty motherfuckers don't know what the hell they're doing. And I'm going to repeat what Brother Donald just said. Truth be told, white folks are advancing technology. It's coming from black people who receive no credit. They have never had an original thought. Hold on. Well, I tell you, these young kids, man, I don't want to sound like I'm old and shit.
To a young kid, you're old.
Yeah. But anyway, I really appreciate everybody that's been here, and thank you for coming on, Brother Elias. And like we always say, for the next 24/7, 365, stay black. Peace out, and love you guys, man. Stay up. Stay black.